Hello, 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 everyone! Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's finally time. Another season of anime has come and gone, and that means it's time to talk about it. Oh, I got some good ones, folks. Ooh, boy. I got some fun things to talk with you about. I've got some interesting things to talk with you all about. I might even have some more psychic damage to share with you all. Hopefully not as bad as the previous ones, though. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I don't know. I'm sure that we'll all come out scarred together. Am I right? But welcome, one and all. This time I actually had the foresight to title this Autumn instead of Fall, because I keep having people saying, I misread your thumbnail and thought it said fail. And no, it's not a failing season. It's the autumn season. So I fixed that moving forward. We'll just, pretend like I've been doing this the whole time. But anyway, as always, I watch entirely too much anime every season. So hopefully it's helpful to share what I think folks might be interested in. As always, these are my own opinions, so if there's a particular anime that I don't talk about, that doesn't mean that I think it's bad or anything like that. It just means that it didn't make my own personal recommendations list. But yeah, this is just things that I'm recommending to you folks, because I think that you folks might enjoy it as much as I did. So yeah, I think it will be good. Friends are the trauma dumping we made along the way. Oh God, I've really scarred you all with some of the stuff that I've recommended before, and I'm sorry. So anyway, let's hop right into Autumn 2024. Ooh, there's a lot of good stuff here, folks. Let's hop right into it. Okay. The very first anime that I'm going to talk about that came out last season is not going to be a huge surprise, I think. For a lot of you folks who are familiar with some of the shows that have come out last season, you've probably seen tons and tons and tons of people talking about this show. So I am going to be one of them. Let's talk about Dandadan. Let's talk about this. When I first brought this up at the beginning of the season, I was pretty optimistic about it. It was kind of a bit of a fever dream. There was a lot of wild shit that was happening in this. But as the season went on, holy shit. This show completely took me by surprise. It somehow manages to combine action, comedy, and sincerity into one package, which is pretty difficult to do. And they did a really good job with it. I was quite impressed. Science Saru really pulled out all the stops to put this together, and it is really impressive to watch. In particular, episode 7 is one of the most incredible episodes of television that I have ever watched. It's not only beautiful with the animation, but it really hits you in the feels. Really hard. This episode alone is worth checking out the show. Like, just for this one episode, I think that this is like deserving of a complete recommendation. It is absolutely incredible. Honestly, the thing that impresses me the most about this series from start to finish is that it tackles some really heavy themes. There's a lot of fear about sexual violence. There's a lot of fear about isolation, loneliness, being ostracized from people around you, as well as just like the difficulty of being a teenager, because it is really hard. You're growing and figuring things out and trying to become the person that you want to be. And the show does as best of a job as it can to try and balance those. It does a great job of having just the right amount of absurdity and comedy along with genuine moments to kind of offset a lot of those heavy themes, which I was pretty impressed by. I did not think something like that could be pulled off super well, and I think that they did a really great job with it. Under normal circumstances, with everything that I've had to say about this show, I would immediately give it like the official seal of approval. Yumi approved. You must watch this show. For anyone who is interested, you must watch this. But I have a caveat. It's a very important caveat. If you want to watch this show, I implore you, please wait a little bit. If you are watching this stream after the second season has come out, you're totally fine. But if you are watching this live or at any point in the next 6 months, the first season ends on one of the most heinous cliffhangers I have ever seen, and I am not going to subject you all to that. So I am not going to tell you to go watch the show right now. In fact, I am begging you to please wait. Oh my god, I cannot believe that they did that. So anyway, wait to watch Dandadan until right before season 2 airs in July 2025. Again, if you're watching this in the future and the second season has already started airing, totally fine. Go and check that out. Yeah, no, I actually, Firo, I went and checked out some of the manga immediately after because I'm like, no, they did not end it right there. So anyway, I am not joking, folks. This is one of the worst cliffhangers. All of the discussion threads about this show after that episode aired were just angry comments from people. Just saying, what the hell was that? How dare they end? There was a lot of very angry people. And, you know, I'm not saying I was one of them, but that was a pretty heinous way to end your first season. So don't do that to yourself. Save yourself. Wait until right before season 2 so that you do not have to experience the pain that I am going through. Oh, God. Oh, what manga chapter should we start on after season 1? Oh, hold on. Let me go double check. I have to go see. Sometimes things all kind of blur together. I will look that up for you so that I can go and try to take a look. But yeah, I hope that you all enjoy this when you do get around to it. Because it is one of those things where I cannot in good faith recommend this show to you, because I need you to wait until that cliffhanger is not going to just be hanging over your heads. A little bit later, I'll spend some time looking up exactly when you can hop into the manga, just so that it's not quite as painful. Oh, Firo, you might be right. It might be around chapter 30. That's actually probably a good place to go and check out. Thank you. I appreciate you looking that up. Yeah, I would probably go and take a look around chapter 29 or 30 just to see. Futsunabe, or spoil yourself with the manga. And then you get another cliffhanger. Here's the thing, at least you can continue reading, right? Well, I guess up until you get caught up, but at least it won't be quite as bad as this first season. So while you're waiting to watch Dandadan, what else can you watch instead? Well, I got some stuff for y'all. I got some stuff for you folks. The first thing that I want to highly, highly, highly recommend to you all is a show that is very near and dear to my heart, which is Natsume's Book of Friends. Oh my gosh. And Natsume is one of my favorite series of all time, and in my humble opinion, it continues to be one of the best things that has ever been animated. It is so good from start to finish. This most recent season expands on so many characters, both new and old, and it has somehow just made me even more in love with this show, which I didn't think was possible. I didn't think I could love this show any more than I already do. If you are not already sold by Natsume, don't worry. Let me sell you on it. I love this show so much. that the next video that is going to be releasing on my channel is going to be entirely about Natsume's Book of Friends. So if you're wondering about what this show is it worth your time? Why does Yumi love it so much? Why does she keep trying to get us to watch it? Well, you will know next week when it is released on the channel. So look forward to that video dropping next week and for more videos like it in the future, because I really want to share all of the things that I love with you folks. I think that Natsume is just one of many things that I absolutely adore that I would love for more people to go and check out. So I hope that this video will be a very good introduction to the series, and then you will enjoy binge watching it. If it seems up your alley. So yeah, I look forward to that. You'll get to hear lots more about Natsume in that video. But Yumi, you might be saying from the future, I've already watched that video and I've marathoned Natsume. Wow, I'm really impressed. That's amazing. And you came back to this afterwards? Wow, that's amazing. Well, now that you've marathoned that, I'm now craving even more great shows to watch. Well, never fear, intrepid listener. I will give you more fun things to watch in addition to Natsume. In particular, let's move on to the next thing on my list. I have talked a lot about ReZero already. I spent a bunch of time during our last seasonal anime review talking about why I love ReZero. So if you're curious about that, you can just skip over to that section to listen through. But the short version is that ReZero is a spectacularly written series that will make you smile, cry uncontrollably, and get your blood pumping. And what more could you want from an anime? Am I right? Definitely not crippling amounts of mental anguish. So after watching the first part of season 3, I am so impressed with how the show continues to be so well written. This particular season is an amazing spectacle, with tons of characters finally getting their time to shine. Oh my god, there have been so many characters who have been teased in previous seasons that have been like, tell me more about these characters, and I'm finally getting it, and it is so goddamn worth it. It is so worth the wait. Holy shit. The one thing about this show is that they decided to split this season 3 into 2 sections. So the first half of the season released last season, and the next portion of it will release in 2 weeks. So unlike Dandadan, which is going to make me wait 6 months between the end of season 1 and season 2, this season was mercifully only split by a couple of weeks, which I think is good. It gives the animators more time to get stuff done, make sure they've got everything ready to go. So yeah, very relieved with that. So this is a perfect time to get caught up if you really want to watch this show. You got a couple more weeks before the next part of the season releases, and oh boy, it looks like it's going to be absolutely insane. So look forward to that. It'll be good. Dan. More like Dan, damn it. Yeah, I mean, listen. You're the one who said it. I completely agree. Dan to damn it, indeed. So if you want a show that has great action, that will also make you cry, both from pain and from genuine moments, this is your series. But as always, my disclaimer for the show is to be prepared for that. There is a lot of mental anguish that goes into watching this show. So if you're on board with that, go and check it out. I think you folks will enjoy it. But Yumi, I hear you all asking, I want an action show that won't physically hurt me to watch. You know, that, dear listener, is such a fantastic point. Why am I sending you off to go and watch ReZero when you want something that's fun all the time and won't make you cry a lot afterwards? Well, no worries. I've got a show for you here as well. Let me recommend to you, emphatically, Shangri-La Frontier. Season 2 in particular has just come out. Oh, thank you, Sky. Yes, perfectly. But Yumi, I want an action show that won't physically hurt me to watch. Excellent. I'm so glad. We're of one wavelength. Absolutely fantastic. But yes, this series was originally a recommendation through my Kusa anime list. It has been fully promoted from that. That's not to say that I don't recommend Kusa anime. I think they're very funny and make me laugh quite a bit. Most of the time they're very goofy, but this has been fully promoted. This has transcended the Kusa and has actually just like become fully good. Initially, I had a hard time recommending this because it's a little bit of like wish fulfillment, power fantasy, playing in a VR game. But this series continues to be hilarious, cleverly written, and it has some of the best multi-episode fight sequences that I have seen in a long time. It's very hard to pull off multi-episode fights because you really have to balance keeping the tension up, but not just dragging a fight out. And boy, howdy, they do a great job. Oh my God, this series is so good. It is so much fun to watch. Without spoiling anything, one of the fights in season 2 is so spectacular, it gave me full body chills when it was completely done. So, yeah, this series is very good, and they go very, very hard when the time comes for it. So I would highly recommend this as a very fun, very exciting, good blood-pumping shonen, if you're looking for one. In the second season, they also have a really fun mini mecha arc, which is a very refreshing surprise. We get to explore some other games, which is kind of fun, and one of them is just like a full mecha, just like VR game, and it's great. It was a bunch of fun with some fun characters and some fun action sequences. So yeah, big fan. I didn't expect that at all. If you're looking for something that is action-packed, this particular series, oh, is an absolute blast. I would highly recommend both seasons of Shangri-La Frontier. It is absolutely incredible. Get in the mecha, Yumi, or Bear will have to do it. No! Oh, God. I guess we're all gonna have to get in the mecha together. This is how it's gotta be. And then we're just gonna go and punch really good. But yes, huge fan of this series, and season 2 continues to be absolutely fantastic. It's great. But Yumi, you might be saying, Shangri-La was so much fun. I want more funny action comedies. Oh, well, I am so glad you asked. Don't you worry, I've got some more fun stuff for you. Let me humbly recommend from this last season, Acro Trip. I talked a little bit about this show in the last seasonal anime roundup, but now that it's completed, oh boy, I definitely want to give this a complete recommendation for folks who are interested. It is absolutely delightful. It is a story about a magical girl told from the perspective of the villain, who desperately wants the magical girl to keep defeating her. Oh, Uematsu, fantastic question. Are they really a good acro if they trip? I don't know. They're tripping really hard, though. They're tripping so hard when the magical girls defeat them. I don't know. They gotta get up quickly. This show is hilariously goofy with very good gags and action sequences that make me actively cackle. Like, just look at her smacking him with that umbrella. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. They do a great job of weaving in very goofy animation with very fun high production animation, and it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. Very funny from start to finish. I had a blast watching this. However, to really, truly sell you on this show and why you should watch it, it's not the gags, it's not the funny action sequences, it's not the wonderful magical girls and villains. You're watching this show for the Kuma Kaijin. The Kuma Kaijin are life. The Kuma Kaijin are love. They are everything. Look at them. Look at how derpy they are as they frolic through the fields. Look at how pliable they are as they're smacked over and over again by a magical staff. Look at, their little faces getting all scrunched up. Oh, they're ready to fight. Look at their derpy little faces ready to throw down. Look at their beautiful, beautiful vacant expressions as they say aloud, and I am not kidding, bear. They are everything and more. I cannot believe that a wonderful creature such as this has graced my life. That I actually have a character in an anime that just says bear over and over again and is super adorable and very funny and the best thing ever. So anyway, all else is secondary to the Kuma Kaijin. If you want to watch this show for the fun times and the magical girls and all that, that's wonderful. But you're really watching this show for the Kuma Kaijin. Yes, they do indeed also speak Baronese. Indeed, they absolutely do. So anyway, if you're looking for a very fun action comedy show to go and follow up Shangri-La Frontier, consider checking out Acro Trip. Oh, and what's this? Over in the corner? Could it be? It's the Kuma Kaijin. That's right. You're watching Kuma Kaijin, also known as Acro Trip. Always remember that. The Kuma Kaijin is why you're watching this show. Yes, this is correct. Surrender all of your mortal possessions to the Kuma Kaijin. Bear, 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 bear. All of your mortal possessions are belong to Kuma Kaijin now. But Yumi, you might now be saying, I'm penniless now that I gave all my possessions to Kuma Kaijin. How else can I entertain myself? Oh, well, I'm very proud of you for forfeiting up all of your mortal possessions. That was the correct thing to do. But don't you worry, I've got you covered with some more fun anime that you can enjoy. Oh, extremely fun anime. What could possibly follow up such a funny, wonderful, definitely not cult-filled show? Could it be Shikinoko Noko Noko Koshtantan? Wait, that's not right. Shikinoko didn't come out last season. That's so weird, though. Why did I say that on impulse? It's almost like a gag anime. Something that'll make you laugh really hard and just bends the fabric of time and space throughout the series. That sounds pretty good right about now, doesn't it? Well, dear listeners, what if I told you that there was a gag anime that came out last season, which completely flew under the radar outside of Japan? That's right. It's time, folks. We finally reached the Kusa anime. Ooh, one of the wonderful opportunities I get to talk about shows that it might be a little difficult to recommend normally for a variety of reasons, but are deeply hysterical, especially with some drinks. Let me introduce to you all, if you are not already aware, to Puniru is a cute slime. Now, when this show came out, I was very surprised that it didn't have a lot of fanfare because it was very popular in a lot of Japanese circles, but outside of that, not so much. And I think the problem is that it seems like its cutesy themes make it a kids show. I've seen a lot of people arguing that no, it's definitely a kids show because it looks like a kids show. And I hate to break it to you all, or maybe I'm happy to break it to you all, because now this show is going to be on your radar too. Don't be fooled. This show may have a very cutesy aesthetic. This show may have characters that are in middle school, but this is not a kids show. I'm sure that like high schoolers and maybe middle schoolers would enjoy it, but let's get one thing straight. Not only is this not a kids show, this is one of the most hilarious, cleverly animated gag anime that I have seen in a long time. Holy shit. I was rolling with laughter watching this show. Dear God, it is absolutely incredible. This show is animated by the same studio who made the Apothecary Diaries. Yes, the Apothecary Diaries. You know, the extremely well animated, very well produced smash hit from last year. Yeah, that studio. They made this. And they do a wonderful job with all of the animation in it. They do an absolutely spectacular job. The animators go absolutely wild with Puniru's slime abilities and make the most insane gags out of it. This is just a sampling of some of the things that you will see in this show. The fact that Puniru getting ass smashed in the face and splattering into goo is not the craziest thing that happens in this show really says something. Or that peeling away her carapace to reveal all of the food that she's secretly been eating, that is not the craziest thing that happens in this show. This is just a sampling of the wild shit that they get up to. They really go ham with the wild slime physics. It's crazy. In addition to all of this, they have a ton of fun with the fact that Puniru just transforms into random things every episode. She has this really fun little transformation sequence, which is like very gimmicky and hilarious. And then she just transforms into wild ass shit. It's incredible. And yes, you might notice down there in the bottom right, that is indeed the deer form for Puniru. And yes, she is being offered some deer crackers. So, you know, there's your Shikanoko no Kokoshtantan. All the way back. We got back to it somehow. You know, she is just Ditto. A more horrifying, more existentially terrifying Ditto. But yeah, it's kind of incredible. So if you're still not sold, which at this point I hope that you are, here is an additional bonus for this crazy series. They went so hard with this show that the ED is a cover of Otto's show, which is sung by Puniru's voice actress. It is crazy. It is so well done. It is so funny. She also kills it. Like, Puniru's voice actress absolutely kills this song, which is amazing. She does such a good job. Oh my God. It takes a lot of guts to sing anything that Otto has sung. So the fact that they not only covered this, but they made it their ED is crazy. Absolutely crazy. There's also a bunch of really wild transformations and animation throughout the entire ED. If you want, you can just go check it out on YouTube. It has 1.4 million views the last time I checked. So yeah, it was definitely quite popular on the Japanese side when this came out. Yeah, I know. The commitment, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So if you end up enjoying this show and you want more of it, I've got good news for you, because Puniru has already been greenlit for a second season. Which is wonderful, because I desperately want to see more of this stupid shit. Oh my God, the things that they do in this show are so wild, so absolutely wild, and I get more of it, and I'm so happy that this exists. That being said, I should give a disclaimer. This is in the Kusa anime section because it is one of the raunchier shows from this last season. You already saw a little bit of that from some of the clips, but do know that going in ahead of time. As long as you're on board with that, this show is extremely funny, and I think that it is well worth your time. God damn it. Seems like a cult classic. Perfect for our cult. Ah, yes. Yes, we will add Puniru to the Kuma Kaijin cult. Wonderful. A wonderful proposition. Thank you. But yes, no. This show was so much fun. So I would highly, highly recommend checking this out. If you do want to increase your enjoyment even more, I do think that watching this at 1.25 to 1.5 speed enhances the experience a little bit. Sometimes the jokes definitely could benefit from like a tiny crank, but it's actually pretty funny just at regular speed too, so no worries. Also, most of the Kusei anime is very funny with at least one drink if you like alcohol, so there's that as well. As far as best boy and best girl, the best boy, undisputed, is Nanpa. Like, without a doubt. Nanpa's the best. Oh my god, he is just like this world's protagonist. He's like off having card battlers and Beyblade battles and like... He just is the shonen protagonist of this show, which is wonderful. He's not even the main character, but he might as well be because I love him. He's the best. He's the absolute best. Best girl, I think, without a doubt for me personally, is Hodai. She is the maid to the Ojo-sama Alice in this series. And Hodai will do literally anything to make Alice happy. And that means that she is best girl. Because she will literally dress up as a mascot that nobody knows about just to make Alice happy. And that's incredible. Yeah, no, Nanpa did get lost and end up in the wrong anime. But I'm happy for it because we got to see him. He's absolutely wonderful. Yes, no, another bear. We're just collecting bears. That's just what this stream is now. We're just collecting bears. Oh, but with that, we've finished autumn 2024, if you can believe it. There was a lot of shows that came out, and it was really hard to like whittle down to kind of an approachable list. But here are all of the big ones that I would recommend from this last season. So the show to watch later is Dandadan. Remember, don't watch it until it's close to the second season. And if you have already watched it, go read the manga. Oh my god, I cannot believe that they did that. As far as the show that you can watch right now, or you can wait until next week when I put out my video on it, is Natsume's Book of Friends. Very different from the other shows on this list, but very worth your time. Then, if you're looking for some blood-pumping action, I would highly recommend Re:Zero, as well as Shangri-La Frontier, both of which are super fun. Very different axes. Re:Zero is more on the suffering side, and Shangri-La is more on the fun, feels-good side. And then finally, for comedies, we've got Acro Trip, or Kuma Kaijin, as you all now know it, and Puniru is a cute slime. That's a pretty good list of shows. Ooh, what could possibly be coming up next in winter 2025? Well, folks, I think it's only appropriate that we start with some sequels. That's right, we got some highly anticipated sequels that are already airing in 2025, and oh my god, whoo, it's good. We eatin' good. The first show to talk about, speaking of Apothecary Diaries, the Apothecary Diaries, is actually getting a second season right now! Oh my god! I love this show so much. I have talked about the show a lot in previous seasonal anime streams, so if you're interested on like what the show is about, I would probably refer you back to that, just so I don't repeat myself there. But let me sell you on the show some more. Apothecary Diaries is one of the best detective and historical fiction series out there. It is stunning. It is so well done. The characters are great. Oh my word. And now that season 2 is out, they are cooking so hard. Oh my god, it is so good so far. Everything about this show is incredible. The animation, the writing, the characters, they all continue to be amazing. And I am obsessed with this story. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was kind of hard actually picking a couple of like clips to show you all because I didn't want to spoil anything, but I was also very excited at all of the new things that were happening, and it's very good. So if you were even remotely interested in this show, I would highly suggest going to check it out. It is absolutely amazing. Plus the new OP is so good. Holy shit. I don't know how they did it again. They already made one of the best OPs and then they just did it again. Wow. How they do this all the time. I don't know. I don't understand. It's all great. So anyway, go check out Apothecary Diaries. It is one of my highest recommendations from not just like the season, but like the last couple of years. A bunch of folks have been recommending this and it makes me so damn happy because it is so worth your time. Oh my God. And now we are getting more of it. So it's a good time. It's a good time to be watching the series. Ooh. Yes, no, and not enough diaries indeed. We need more diaries, please. Continue to make this wonderful series. It is absolutely wonderful. So, Yumi, you might be asking, nebulous viewer who keeps asking questions, what other sequels have come out in this most recent season? Well, I got some good news for you, because we got the season 2 of 100 Girlfriends. Oh my God, this show is so great. The greatest rom-com ever has returned, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. After the last season came out, I went and binged so much of the manga. I bought so many volumes. I have no space on my shelf. They're so good. So yeah, it's back. I'm so happy. 100 Girlfriends continues to be one of the most endearing romantic comedies where everybody wins, including you, the viewer, with tons of new, wonderful characters to get to know. Oh my God, I love the show so much. I am so happy we are getting more of it. I actually was trying to put together slides for this, and then I realized it was just rampant spoilers. So I had to cut a bunch of this section. Because I just got too excited about all of the new characters and I was just gonna talk about them all, and then I was like, no, Yumi, you're gonna spoil all of the characters, stop. So yeah, I would just know that I would highly recommend this show. The characters that are getting introduced this season are all wonderful, and as always, they do a wonderful job with hiding potential new girlfriends from the OP and ED, which is very clever, and then they go and they'll almost certainly put them back in after they're revealed. So yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. And yes, this is the show where no best girl is left behind. I love it so much. Also, the manga's amazing. If you haven't read the manga, it's very, very good, and I definitely read way too much of it. But Yumi, you might be asking yourself, fantastic questions, by the way, are there any new shows that are worth discussing this season? Not just sequels, but new shows. Well, dear viewers, yes indeed, I do have some new shows that I would highly recommend, even at this stage, going and checking out. I will have more to say about them at the very end of the series, but if you want to start watching them now, I got you covered. The first show that I want to talk about is Medalist. Holy shit. This show is shockingly good to such a degree that I keep comparing it to one of my favorite sports anime of all time, which is called Run with the Wind. Run with the Wind is so beautiful and so poignant, and it makes me cry so hard every time I watch it. And the fact that I'm even comparing this to that is, that is a high Yumi honor. But yes, this is an absolutely incredible show. It features an extremely neurotic, yet very relatable protagonist who has some of the best expressions. These are just some of the expressions that she makes, and there are so many more that I was not able to fit in this. And she desperately, more than anything else, wants to skate. She's not doing very well in school. She doesn't really have a lot of friends. But the thing that she wants to do and that she loves more than anything is ice skating. And she ends up getting paired with a really kind, very hardworking coach who used to be a professional figure skater, but who was never able to make it very far because he started when he was a lot older. He didn't start figure skating until he was too old to really catch up to some of his peers, at least in his own opinion. And he wants to give her the chance that he missed out on. So it's kind of like a wonder pair that are trying to take on the ice skating world. And it's incredible. It's incredible. It embraces the highs and the lows of the skating world, showing the real painful sacrifices that come with being a professional athlete, not just skating. There's a lot of things that are very difficult about being an athlete, and the fact that these children are so young and they're already going through that is genuinely heartbreaking. It's painful to see them having to experience things that adults struggle with. And they're in elementary school. This is crazy. So the show does a really good job of trying to show the very real hardship that this is. It's not all like, we're gonna go and make you a medalist and it'll all be great. No, there's real sacrifices and hardships and all kinds of things that you have to go through, and you might not even make it. Even after all of that, there's injuries to worry about. There's the fact that you have to miss out on school in order to do a lot of practice. Oh, it's a lot. And that's not to mention all of the mental strain that this has. So, yeah. A huge reason why I compare this with Run with the Wind is that that series does a really good job with that as well, showing the world of running as not just ooh, this is a wonderful pastime, but as like a real hard thing. Being an athlete comes with a lot of sacrifices. Ooh. That being said, there are some wonderful bright spots in the series as well. Very heartwarming moments. They also use real motion capture to create the models for the figure skating sections, which is really impressive. They actually have professional figure skaters that they used as references for this, so everything looks really good when they're actually skating. It's really impressive. There's definitely some times where the 3D modeling can be a little noticeable during the skating sections, but I think that by and large it is really impressive and they sell it really, really well. So I would highly recommend checking the show out, whether you're interested in figure skating or not. This show is worth your time because it's a story about fighting to overcome the odds that are stacked against you. And it's very bittersweet, but there's also very heartwarming moments in it. So I think it's worth your time. Just hoping that they stick the landing with it. I'll be able to talk more about that at the end of the series, but if they do stick the landing, this is gonna be a pretty this is gonna be a pretty impressive sports anime. They've already been doing a really great job with just the first couple of episodes, so I'm excited to see where the rest of the series goes. But Yumi, you might be asking yourself, are there any new shows that won't kick me in the feels? You just said that that show was bittersweet and that it might make me sad. Is there anything that is just feel good? Well, dear viewers, wonderful viewers, yes, I do have something that is just feel good. I would humbly recommend From Bureaucrat to Villainess. Dad's been reincarnated. Yes, I'm recommending an isekai. It's not very often that I do that. There's a whole bunch of isekai that are coming out nowadays, and it's kind of it's something special to like really enjoy something like this. I think they do a really great job. Yes, know, a wonderful villainous isekai. Oh my god. Okay, so this show is so refreshing. It is wonderfully funny, charming, and it is a great spin on the otome genre, which I feel like is starting to become a little stale with some of the shows that have been coming out. Every time that they try to release like a villainous show, I always excitedly pull it up being like, oh, will it be another good one? Like the first season of Baccarina? Please give me another good villainous show. And I personally, I think that this show far and beyond exceeds my expectations. It features an otaku father who comes from an otaku family who is reborn as a villainess in his daughter's favorite otome game. It is so wonderfully animated, so charming. Like, just look at this. Look at how adorable this is. Him and his daughter. It's wonderful. So he is reincarnated as the villainess from one of his daughter's favorite otome games. And the entire show is about him trying to be the best villainous while struggling against his kind fatherly instincts. And it is so good. It's so good. All of his attempts to be as like devious as possible and how that gets interpreted in this world is so great. It's so good. I'm smiling and laughing and cackling the entire time watching this. It is absolutely wonderful. The relationship that he has with his family is so good. You get to see that in so many of the flashbacks. It's almost one of those things where, I don't know, I mean, I have to see how the series ends, but I hope he's able to see them again because he's just a great dad. And it's nice to actually see that in anime. It's so nice to see, like, especially in this genre, the villainous genre, just a very kind father is so wonderful. So yeah, it's incredible. Also, the ED to this show is so good. This is just one of the shots from the ED, but it also features him and his villainous self dancing together, and it's so good. It's so damn good. Everyone is just partying. It's amazing. The OP is really good too, but the ED is just, it's legendary. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's really, really good. It was a thing I didn't know I needed in my life, and I'm so happy that it exists. So yeah, I would highly recommend From Bureaucrat to Villainous. Even just a couple of episodes in, this one is a winner. This one has been so much fun to watch. Like, even if there's lulls in the plot, the entire thing has been so much fun that I have to recommend this. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. Well, besides that actually kind of wraps up this upcoming season. We have so many shows that have been releasing, and I thought about talking about some of them, but I'm kind of keeping an eye on a bunch of things just to make sure, like, how does the season go? What particular things do I want to talk about with this stuff? So there's a bunch of shows with potential, but I'm gonna hold off on talking about them until our next seasonal anime, which is probably for the best anyway, because there's one show that we have to talk about here in a little bit, which is gonna take up a lot of the runtime. But Yumi, I hear you all saying, oh no, the dreaded question. Yumi, isn't there another show that you're missing? You say that there's shows that you don't want to talk about, but are you sure that there isn't one more you have to talk about? Oh boy, you all got me. I have to bring it up, don't I? It wouldn't be a proper seasonal anime review if I didn't mention one of the most popular shows from the season. And no, it's not Solo Leveling. You all know my opinions on Solo Leveling. I don't think I need to go back into that again. It is Sakamoto Days, which is one of the most popular shows. I think that's good, for a couple of reasons. But if I'm being completely honest, I was kind of nervous awaiting Sakamoto Days because the manga is very well illustrated, and I was pretty worried about how the action scenes would translate to animation. In particular, the manga has a very unique art style to it. It's very gritty. They really go for a lot of like, I don't know, it has an interesting balance of realism and comedy, and blending those together is pretty tricky. So I've watched the anime, and unfortunately, it does look like my fears were well-founded. It's not like the action scenes look bad, it's just, oh god, just look at that manga panel, guys, look at that, look at it! Y'all, look at this! Oh god, look at the impact. You can just see his foot smashing into the ground as his elbow is just pummeling this dude into this roof. The sword is wildly flailing as there's a ton of rocks getting thrown into the air. You feel the impact of that. And it just doesn't translate super well in the anime, and it's just it's just sad. That being said, the anime still carries a lot of the charm from the manga, so I'm glad that it's getting a lot of traction. I think that's good. I'm glad for it. I'm just, my poor shonen heart. My action scenes. My poor action scenes. They're just not as good. And I'm not gonna fault the animators. This is really hard to pull off. It's just like, I just hope people go and check out the manga, is all I'm saying. Please go and check out the manga if you enjoy this. If you are enjoying Sakamoto Days, that's great. I'm happy. That's awesome. Go check out the manga too. This is a similar problem that I had to Spy Family. I do think that Spy Family managed to get some of like the god tier fighting stuff that happened. I think they did a pretty good job with that. But yeah, unfortunately, some of like the really gritty scenes just don't translate as well. They kind of lean more into it being funny as opposed to being funny and dark, if that kind of makes sense. And it's not like that's bad, but it makes the anime pretty different tonally from the manga. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Sakamoto Days. I'm terribly sorry. To anyone who likes this, I'm very happy that you like it. And I promise I won't just constantly be like, you should read the manga, even though you should read the manga. It's how you support the series and make it so there's more anime that gets made. That's how you do it, folks. You gotta go and read the anime. Oh my god, read the manga and then watch the anime. I'm over here just losing my mind. Sakamoto Days, what have you done to me? Oh god. And yeah, for those of you who were very kindly recapping my thoughts on Solo Leveling, I talked about this when it first came out. I think that was a couple of seasonal animes ago. But yeah, I don't really like the main character. I think he's kind of an asshole. I don't think that he is worth my time. But for those of you who are enjoying Solo Leveling, more power to you. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch some Apothecary Diaries, I think. And you can come join me. We can all watch Apothecary Diaries together, and 100 Girlfriends, and all these other shows that I've talked about today. Okay, you all have been so good. But as many of you were saying earlier, it's time for our cult-mandated suffering session. We're about an hour in, you know, that's a pretty decent time to be talking about psychic damage, am I right? Am I right? And now that we've talked about the hype, oh, it's time. It's time to talk about the psychic damage from this last season. Oh, my word. Oh, there were some things to pick from. It wasn't super easy to pick just one to talk about. And this one, I want to reassure you, this is not nearly as bad as the Stepford Wife. I promise you. That was probably, I actually don't know. I don't know if that was more painful or if Stalker-kun was more painful. I guess Rock Dogs was pretty bad too. Most of the psychic damage I've given you all, I'm terribly sorry for that. But you know, it's fine. I've got another one today for you all. This is what I came for. Oh no, I've ruined you all. I've ruined you. I'm so sorry. Well, you know, we have the same sickness, so now you get to share in this horrible show that I watched, which just damaged me on a fundamental level. Oh, God. Okay. So, yeah, after how much I hurt you all in previous seasons, I thought we'd go easy this time around, you know? It was something a little bit better than existential horror through a robot wife. I thought maybe we'd have something a bit easier, and thankfully this last season delivered. That being said, whew, it's still gonna hurt, so be prepared for that. No history lesson. That's the candy pop for the psychic damage. Oh no, it's okay. We're gonna get into plenty of psychological damage instead. Carrot Maid, the Stepford wife, was amazing because, quote, what, is she going to try to stab the mom or something, was a correct guess. Yeah, no, that show was absolutely insane. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, well, give me a moment. I actually, just like all of the psychic damage presentations, I had to make a separate presentation because it was too long. Let me see, actually, how long is this? Oh god. I'm not gonna give you all the, I won't tell you how long it is until afterwards. Let's just say it's a couple hundred slides, but we'll get through it quickly, I promise. Okay, hold on, let me go pull this up real quick. Let's go view slideshow. Excellent. All right, y'all, are you ready? Yes, then Yumi took out a second PowerPoint presentation. Yes, no, an entire separate presentation just to inflict emotional damage. All right, get ready, y'all. Are you prepared for our psychic damage of the season? I was just starting the new year off on a great foot and a great tail. It's time to talk about Kinoku Inu. Now, you might look at this image and be like, huh, I don't know, that's a little weird looking, but that's not, surely that can't be that bad. It's maybe not cute, but like it's not terribly offensive, right? Well, don't be fooled. This is a rightful, painful at times, psychic damage anime. Do not be fooled by its cutesy exterior. What did we learn earlier today? You shouldn't be fooled by cutesy themes, because they will turn out very differently than you thought. So let's talk about Kinoku Inu, or Mushroom Dog. I've seen Mushroom Pup also as like the English translation, which I think is totally fine. But anyway, let's start off with episode 1 with our main character, who is a mangaka. Oh, I see. I don't know if this is supposed to be our author self-insert, but it's about a mangaka. So the mangaka is starting off the show at a signing for their tankobon, and his editor is trying to get him to pull his shit together because he keeps dazing out when people are in line. So anyway, he has a bunch of people who are trying to get his autograph for his latest work. And he apologizes to them for continuing to not realize that there's people there or that he needs to be signing. In fact, he admits he's unable to write anything at all, and this might be his last work ever. Because this man is actually suffering from the death of a loved one. Yeah, this show actually starts out on an interesting foot where I at first actually empathized with him a lot. He 49 days ago lost his dog, which is pretty sad. His dog had been in his life for a long time. She was 17 years old and she passed away from cancer. So already you're getting this idea in your head that like, okay, so is this going to be a show about, recovering from loss? Is this going to be about moving on? Maybe having a new animal or person in your life that will help you get over the trauma of losing such a precious family member. Keep that in mind. in the back of your head. It's a good thought to have. Keep that in the back of your mind. So he is having trouble writing. He's having trouble sleeping. He's having trouble eating. He spends a lot of time just kind of staring off into the distance, which does actually take away some of the emotional punch, because you kind of just sit there and you're like, did the video stop? And you're like, no. He's just staring still. And you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be too hard on him. He's going through a lot. It's okay that he's just spacing out and just staring at me unblinkingly for like way too long, for like 30 seconds. That's fine. That's to be expected, you know? He can't even write. I can't expect him, to break eye contact. That's fine. So, he's having trouble sleeping, right? He's going through a lot. His poor dog has passed away 49 days ago. So, one night, he goes and sits out on his back porch, looking out onto the garden, and he sees this tiny little pink and white mushroom, which has been growing in the garden ever since he was a small child, back when his grandparents were still alive. Because yes, this man has not only lost his dog, he has lost every other family member. It's the sort of thing that makes you think, my dude, I think therapy is the least thing that you can do right now. But no, he adamantly refuses to do that. He continues to just sit in his backyard staring at this mushroom. Yes, no, it is an extremely old mushroom with a nice little butterfly on it in this shot. And as he stares at this pink and white mushroom in the dark, just sitting there staring into the camera for 30 seconds at a time, he notices something strange with the mushroom. It starts to move back and forth, forward, backwards, side to side, which is very strange for a mushroom to be doing. Perhaps our protagonist does not have enough sleep. Perhaps he needs to get some more rest if he's seeing mushrooms that are beginning to move around wildly. Maybe his eyes are just playing tricks on him. Who knows, right? Well, as he's starting to recognize this, the mushroom begins to erupt from the earth. The butterfly still upon its head. In fact, the mushroom begins to change. It no longer looks like a mushroom, but like a cap of some sort, as something very sinister is burrowing out of the yard. Excuse me. It is burrowing out from the earth. As he stares into the middle distance, once again not breaking eye contact with you, the viewer, he is now transfixed upon this strange mushroom which is erupting from the ground. It stumbles to its feet. Yes, the mushroom, it has feet. It has multiple feet. It has a face. It has a face that stares back. Just as he stares at us for 30 seconds at a time, so too does this strange mushroom creature stare back at us. It takes him a few moments to gather himself, to realize what has just happened. This mushroom, which has been growing in his yard for many years, has suddenly become a creature, which is now standing right in front of him. And he does the one sensible thing in this entire show, and he closes the door. He immediately closes the door, gets himself inside to safety, and the mushroom creature races forward, frantically trying to get inside, pawing at the door. He says to himself, "It's cute. It looks like a dog." It is not cute. It is terrifying. This creature has just emerged from the ground and is trying to get inside, pawing and clawing at the door that you have mercifully managed to shut. And as he stares down at it, thinking, oh, this strange demon creature which has just emerged from the ground, this creature, it actually looks kind of cute. I hate to disappoint you all, because even though he did have a good survival instinct for a moment, he immediately loses that survival instinct. He opens up the door and lets it inside his home. Why would he do this thing? Why would he do this? I don't know. Why did he do this? He was almost safe. He had almost just skipped this entire show completely. But no, He opens up the door, and the creature comes inside. You might be wondering, what the hell is he doing? And don't worry, you're not alone. His editor shows up the next day and asks him, "You just let this thing in. What were you thinking? We don't even know what it is. Why would you let it inside your home?" To which he responds, "Oh, you know, it's probably okay. It's pretty spaced out, just like me." Which is a wild thing to say, a wild excuse. It then proceeds to spray some things into the air. The editor, in a panic, rises to her feet, frantically asking, "What's happening? What is it spraying?" To which our mangaka responds, "Probably spores." For those of you who aren't familiar with mushroom spores, I have a nice little definition for you all. In biology, a spore is a unit of sexual or asexual reproduction. That's right. You've let this horrible thing into your home, and it is now jerking off in your living room onto your guest. But no, it's fine. It's fine because for the purposes of this show, we're gonna pretend like this definition isn't true. At least we hope they're gonna pretend like this definition isn't true. No need to think about that too much. Just put it in the back of your mind. Anyway, we then proceed, after the spore incident, to talk about the first thought that you as a viewer might have. This thing is sort of dog-like, I guess, in the strictest sense of the word. It stands on two legs, though. Is it really a dog at that point? It's like a dog humping, probably. You know what? That's actually probably the best way to think about it. And our mangaka's like, "Oh, what? No, it's fine." And the editor's like, "It's not fine. It's not fine at all." In fact, she asks, could this strange creature be a reincarnation of Hanako, the dog who had passed away? Which was my first thought as well. That being said, with the spore business, I was kind of hoping it wasn't the reincarnation of the dog because, oh boy. Oh boy. And thankfully, the mangaka confirms that he had asked this creature if it was a reincarnation, and it said no by signaling with a cross over its chest, just like that, with a little X. And at this moment, you realize, oh my god, this thing can understand human speech. What else can it do? This thing isn't a dog. What is this thing? Why is this show called Mushroom Dog? This thing is not a dog at all. So the editor leaves, very confused and distressed at this mangaka who she's supervising, having brought this creature into this house. And that night, our mangaka has a dream. He's remembering all of the wonderful times he had with his adorable dog, who is very cute in all of the flashbacks, much cuter than the horrifying mushroom dog. And he wakes up crying quite a bit. He should probably go see a therapist. It would be really good for him. But no, he's not going to do that. So he wakes up crying. And as he opens his eyes, for a moment, he sees the mushroom dog. The mushroom dog staring down at him, unblinking, staring into his soul, watching as he cries in his sleep. Startled, he gets up, and the mushroom dog has run off already. That's strange. Where did it go? Why was it staring at him as he slept? And as he looks in the direction of where the mushroom dog went, he sees something very strange. There's a light outside. It's the middle of the night still. Why is it so light outside and with such a strange orange and yellow color? Huh? What's going on in the yard? He goes and opens up the door to the backyard, going to see what is happening outside, and he is greeted with one of the most insane things I have ever seen in an anime. The mushroom dog is standing next to a burning pile of dog food that it has set itself, and it is holding other paraphernalia of the dead dog, the one that our mangaka is grieving. It is, just setting all of the dead dog's belongings on fire in the yard, you know, like you do. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. This is only episode 1. Buckle up, folks. We're only getting started. So, he very reasonably freaks out, running outside, saying, "What are you doing? You have just set a fire in my backyard. This is extremely dangerous." And as he gets closer, he sees the mushroom dog holding onto the bow collar of his dead dog with a lighter in its hands, its horrible, grubby little hands, as it's getting ready to throw it into the fire. Insanity! Insanity! Do you know what else is even more insane than this, though? Our mangaka watches this unfolding, staring at all of the belongings of his dead dog that are now going up in flames on his lawn, along with the rest of his lawn, which is now burning up because this demon has entered his life. And he collapses to the ground. He doesn't yell at the mushroom dog. He just stares at the fire, and then stares at the mushroom dog, willing it to continue what it's doing. He's not going to tell it to stop. He remembers when his own dog was burnt up when it was cremated after she had passed away. And he sees this as the next stage of that cremation. Yes, instead of holding on to these bits of this dog who he loved, yes, just burn it all. Burn it all. Who cares about therapy? Set a fire in your backyard and throw that collar in. That's how we do it. And with one swift throw of its stupid, stubby little arms, the mushroom dog tosses in the collar into the fire, where it burns! It burns everything! All of the things that were associated with this dog. The only thing it doesn't burn is the picture of the dog. Everything else is burnt up. And our mangaka goes forward, patting the head of the mushroom dog like it somehow did a good thing here, setting this fire in the backyard, and says to the mushroom dog, "You sure have bold ideas about how to comfort someone." Because that was the takeaway, folks. Instead of dealing with your grief and trying to process it, just burn it up. Just burn it up in your backyard. Deku! To be fair, maybe the spores took some weird effect on his brain. I guess that's a fair point. It was the spores. They just got up in there and, I don't know, did something weird. And now he's super on board with this. So yeah, this is episode 1, folks. It just setting fires and burning up important memories and belongings in your backyard. No reason to be worried about this. And look at this horrible, horrible creature smiling as it stares back at this mangaka. Ah, yes, this horrible little demon. Its full hold on this man's life has only begun. This is only the beginning of the insanity of Kinoku Inu. So the episode ends with the mangaka getting his stride back. He has got a new series called Kinoku Inu. Just, you know, it's all coming full circle. He's had his inspiration come back after this creature barged into his home, jerked off onto his editor, and then burned up important belongings. It deserves its own manga. Now you can see how the full circle has truly been completed. Now, it was at this exact moment, looking at this book cover, that I thought a crazy thing to myself. Looking upon this thing, I couldn't help but think, besides the spores, this thing is just not very mushroom-like. It just doesn't look like a mushroom. Like, even the weird ear bit it's too, like, I don't know. It's too angular. It looks very strange. And the more that I looked at it, and the more that I looked at the strange coloring on it, the more I thought it looked like a turnip or a radish. The more I thought that this thing was not a mushroom at all. And then I realized that just kind of summarizes this whole show, doesn't it? This thing is pretending to be like a mushroom dog, right? It's pretending to be something that it's not. But I won't let it do that. So for a long time, when Bear and I would discuss this show, I would not call it Mushroom Dog or Kinoku Inu. I would call it Turnip Dog. But I think that this actually goes further beyond Turnip Dog, because it's not a dog, is it? It's not a dog. It's a demon. It's a turnip demon. That's what this is. It's a turnip demon. The only mushroom thing about it is the spores, and don't you worry, we'll get back to the spores. But this, for all intents and purposes, is a turnip demon, and that is how I shall refer to it. It is a demon, not a dog. And you all will fully understand that as we continue to go through this. Alrighty, well, that was episode 1. Fantastic. Episode 2. The part of the yard that was burned to the ground is now starting to grow a bit of grass. Oh, isn't that so nice? After they burned up all of the dog's belongings, it's actually starting to grow back now. It's a new life is starting. Isn't that beautiful? With the turnip demon in tow. Well, anyway, our mangaka gets a call. And he agrees, saying, yes, I'm free this afternoon. I can come and meet with you. And in particular, he's getting a call that a mushroom specialist, a specialist in mushrooms. Maybe they should call a specialist in turnips. I don't know. I'm just saying. But a mushroom specialist is going to swing on over to take a look at our turnip demon and see what the hell is going on with it. Why does it burn things suddenly? Why does it exist? What is the turnip demon? So anyway, we get introduced to the mushroom specialist, who's a very tall man with a very peculiar haircut. He has a very impressive mohawk. Honestly, I don't even want to think about how long it took him to grow that out and also style it. Like, good God, it's doing a pretty good job staying in place. He also has purple with pink spots on the side. Why is he doing that? I don't understand. You know, he does look like a mushroom too. I guess maybe that's why he's the mushroom specialist, I guess. So anyway, he comes in. He's introduced by the editor. The editor knows him. He's a staff member at a nearby research institute. And in particular, he was very interested in helping out because turns out he's a really big fan. Oh, a very tall, mohawked fan of our mangaka's work, especially the Kinoku Inu stuff. So he was very excited to come over. So anyway, now the editor has introduced them and brought him into this home. We keep bringing very questionable people into this place. I don't know. I think that this man should really stop letting so many people inside this house, but whatever. It's fine. So, and the mushroom specialist tries his best to figure out what on earth this creature is, and he's not able to figure it out. He's like, maybe this is a Sakura Shimeji mushroom, but I don't know. It's weird. Why is it talking? And this is why. This is not a full mushroom. It's a turnip demon. But anyway, he wouldn't have known that. He was told it was a proper mushroom. So then he asks, would it be okay if I took it to the Research Institute with me? The turnip demon does not like this. It runs away, angrily hiding. The mushroom specialist is hurt by this, saying there's no need to protest being researched for science. Being cut open and used as a test subject. Won't you come to my research institute? One of the few relatable things that the turnip demon does, honestly. You know, that's a fair point, actually. They shouldn't be calling a mushroom specialist. They need an exorcist. We need an exorcist over here. What are we doing with a mushroom specialist? But whatever. So anyway, he wants to continue doing research on this thing. So he asks the mangaka if he can schedule their first date to go over this. To which everyone in the room is wondering, date? A strange way to say meeting, but whatever. Date is fine, I guess. But no, he clarifies. He meant that completely romantically. Out of nowhere, meeting this person for the first time, only a fan of their manga prior to this, he grasps the mangaka's hands and professes his love, stating that he wants to be in a romantic relationship with him. You know, his editor is there and all that stuff. She's immediately feeling awkward about having brought this person into this house. He responds, I'm not interested in romantic relationships, which, you know, probably the best rejection that this man could have gotten. There's no homophobia involved. There's nothing like that. He's just not interested in romantic relationships. But yes, no, at least have dinner first. You have to go slow with these things. And that is what our mushroom specialist realizes. Immediately changing directions to say, oh, so this means that we can just start as friends, right? I still have a chance, person who I've just met today. At this point, the editor has had enough. She has completely screwed up this encounter. She is feeling terrible that she has brought this person here, and she physically drags him out. Thanking the mangaka for their hospitality and removing this person from the premises. So, you know, incredible start to this friendship. So after that, the mushroom specialist just kind of like hangs around the house, you know? He's just kind of like on the street looking at mushrooms. Ooh. The editor sees him multiple times. It's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm just looking at the mushrooms. It's all good. And this continues to escalate as he starts showing up at the house unannounced, just opening the door, not knocking or ringing the doorbell or anything. Just, I'm here. I'm here now. And the mangaka just kind of rolls with it, I guess. Inviting him to go on a walk with the turnip demon together. You know, like you do when someone's stalking you, you just invite them to spend more time because it rewards their stalking. Yes. That is the thing we know about stalkers. You just gotta reward them for pestering you and following you around. Yes, no. So yes, they go on a walk together. So they take the mushroom dog on a walk, and the mushroom dog pretends to be a dog because at this point they are aware of the fact that it's weird that it will stand on two legs, so they're trying to pretend that it's a dog, which again, it's not a dog. It's not a dog at all. Anyway, they go on a walk, and as they're going, the mangaka is suddenly hit with like a wave of emotion as he realizes that this is what he used to do with his deceased dog all the time, but now it's this horrible demon that he's doing this with, and it hits him pretty hard. He realizes he hasn't held a leash ever since Hanako died, and that's really hitting him for the first time. Now, he tries to reassure everyone that he's okay now. It's hitting him, but you know, he's just burnt up all of the dog's belongings, and he's ready to move on with his new life, to move forward. But before he can finish talking, the mushroom dog, which has been staring at him almost angrily ever since he started talking, before he can finish saying the sentence, the demon moves forward and kicks him at the top of a hill, down the hill, with the mushroom researcher standing in shock behind as this man tumbles down this hill after this demon has pushed him down. He falls down this hill, down to the bottom, crash landing. As they rush down, the mushroom specialist frantically grabbing the demon to keep it still. The mangaka rises, battered, bruised, to his feet, and looks fondly upon this horrible demon which has inserted itself into his life, and says to it, you still have such bold ideas about how to comfort someone, you little demon, you. So yeah, off to a great start. 2 episodes in, and we've got destroying important memories and personal property, setting fire to your backyard, jerking off on your editor, and we've got attempted murder. This demon has got quite a track record, only 2 episodes in. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, no, I think this man needs some help desperately. Is he going to seek that help? Well, it's only episode 2. Episode 3, we've got an update on our burnt lawn. Oh, look at it. Oh, look, we've got a nice little weeds that are growing on it now. Isn't that so nice? That new life sprouting up from the burnt remains of many wonderful memories. So episode 3 sees the horrible demon learning how to draw, because, you know, again, it's not a dog, it is a demon, and the demon is learning to write, which should terrify you. And our main protagonist, the mangaka, is not terrified. He's recovered from being pushed down a hill to his death, to his imminent death, excuse me, by this horrible creature. And he praises it, saying, oh, look at you, Turnip demon. You're making drawings. That's so wonderful of you. Until he realizes what exactly it's drawing on. That's right. This horrible demon has been taking his drafts for his manga and drawing on the backs of them. Well, that doesn't bode very well for his career. He ends up meeting with his editor and admits to her that he is just not getting a lot of sleep. Not only has the work been really busy because this horrible demon keeps destroying his drafts, but it just keeps adding on to his workload in incredible ways. He returns from his meeting with the editor to find this horrible demon having basically destroyed his kitchen. Leaving a complete mess everywhere. There's milk on the floor. There's bonito flakes. It's just eating melon pon, just like a horrible creature that it is. Give me that melon pon. It doesn't belong to you. You don't deserve it, horrible demon. So yeah, he walks in after this meeting with his editor about how he's not getting enough sleep and he's behind on his work, and finds that his kitchen is a disaster and just doesn't know what to do about it. Just stares into the middle distance for a while. That nice locking eyes for 30 seconds. Before he very cautiously moves towards the demon. He doesn't reprimand it for some reason. I feel like he maybe should, but you know, it doesn't need to be harsh. Just maybe don't be trashing the kitchen all the time, small demon. But instead he calmly tells the demon, I have an urgent assignment today and I'm all tied up, so please don't disturb me while I'm working on that, okay? And then he just leaves the kitchen. It's a complete mess. There's still milk on the floor. Everything is still on the floor, but he just leaves this creature in there with all of this mess. Just being like, stay in here with your mess. I have to finish my manga. Oh my god. So, while he gets to work on the rest of his manga, the demon just finds every piece of paper that it can that's not part of his manuscript and just scribbles on everything. Everything becomes a scribble. It's trying to go after books and things too, but the books are not a good surface to draw on. While it's doing this, our mangaka gets pretty far through his stuff. He actually accomplishes most of it, and he thinks to himself, I'm so exhausted. I actually made some progress. I should just sleep for an hour. Just an hour, right? And so he goes to sleep at his desk, and slowly but surely the horrible demon opens up the door, looking inside at the human that is exhaustedly sitting at his seat, and it comes in, seeing all of this work that the mangaka has done. And do you remember what the horrible demon was doing to all of these drawings and pieces of paper before? You all are saying oh no, and oh no is right. The mangaka wakes up an hour later and sees that the horrible demon has scribbled over all of their manuscripts. Every single one that he was staying up late to work on. And for the first time in this show, in his sleep-deprived state, he actually expresses an emotion other than vacancy. He actually raises his voice. Yes, no, burn the demon. We need an exorcism immediately. Please, get that exorcism as quickly as possible. So he raises his voice, and this shocks the horrible demon. It has never heard him raise his voice before. He tries to calm himself for some reason. It's not a bad thing to try and be a reasonable person, but this thing has just, ruined his deadline. He's frantically trying to think of a way that he can draw in time. It is 1 a.m, and he has to get this to the post office by 6 or 7 a.m. He has only a couple hours to do full pages with coloring. Nightmarish. Holy shit. And then he says, Hanako, my old dog, wouldn't have done this. And oh boy, that just hits the demon hard, because the demon had destroyed all of these things that belonged to this dog at this point. Why is the human still bringing up the dog? Is the demon not a sufficient replacement for the dog? Why is the dog still being brought up? This was supposed to be their new life together. But the dog, it still continues to be spoken from this mangaka's lips. And so as the mangaka frantically tries to redraw all of the things that the horrible demon had ruined, the demon decides to leave the house. Could it be? This was the thing that needed to happen? He just needed to be so sleep-deprived and completely done with this demon's bullshit to get it to leave? Well, congratulations! We've done it, folks! Only 3 episodes in and the show is already over. Can you believe it? He escapes safe and sound. He is not plagued by this horrible creature that trashes his house and ruins all his manuscripts and burns his dog's belongings and throws him down a hill. Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Well, I wish that was how it ended. Unfortunately, this is only episode 3, and this stupid man continues to look for this demon. After he finishes his manuscript and he sends it off because he's able to do it in time, he becomes so panicked and he starts looking for the stupid demon that almost ruined everything. So anyway, we snap over to the mushroom specialist. He's over at the mushroom place, just hanging out. And, you might see something over in the corner there. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but it's just the very bottom in the middle, this pink thing. It seems to be hiding behind these shelves. And he notices this as well because he is our resident stalker. And so he knows, the stalker knows when another stalker is present, and immediately figures out that this horrible demon is here. Why is the demon here, you might be asking? Why didn't the demon go find the editor? Why did the demon go to the research institute, the place that it was very afraid of? I don't know. The demon does not make a lot of sense to me, but the mushroom specialist has enough sense not to immediately hack it to pieces, so I guess that saved him from like a demon awakening or something. So that's good. But anyway, he realizes for some reason, he pieces together that the demon and the mangaka got in a fight. I don't know how he did that. Maybe he has the place wiretapped or something, and he's just pretending to be surprised. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him. But anyway, he correctly assesses that the two of them got in a fight, and then sees the demon was carrying a book with it. Is the book visible in this frame? Nope. But it was carrying this book with it. This is the best shot I could get of the book. It was hiding it behind it or something? I don't know. Anyway, the demon was carrying a book. And it's a book about learning how to write and how to spell things. The mushroom specialist realizes, oh, maybe this horrible demon was scribbling because it was trying to write. Again, an incredible deduction to make. I don't know. I guess that's less crazy than the you and the mangaka got in a fight, but apparently the demon was trying to write something. So that's why it was using all of the paper, and its handwriting was just terrible. And so it got frustrated and kept writing on more things. I don't know. It's still pretty crappy that it kept writing on all the manuscripts, but whatever. We find out that it was trying to write something. What was that horrible message? You'll have to stay tuned, because then we flash back to our mangaka and his editor, who are very slowly and leisurely looking for this horrible demon. They're just kind of walking along the riverbank, being like, Demon, where are you at? I'm sorry. And then the demon doesn't respond and they move on. The mangaka's like, oh, I think I really hurt its feelings. Oh, the demon, I really messed up. And the editor's like, yeah, but the demon was totally at fault. Like, the editor has no chill. She's like, yeah, no, but the demon is the one who messed up. I don't know. I feel like the demon should be apologizing to you, if I'm being honest, but you can apologize to it if you really want. And then, of course, as they're walking along the riverbank, who should show up but our resident stalker? Yep, he's here. Of course he's here. Of course he knew where they were. I'm so glad that you all think that the editor is the best character. She kind of just is the best character throughout this entire thing. She's the only one who, like, kind of has her head on straight. Unfortunately, well, I'll get into some of that later, but she's the most rational person here. But anyway, the stalker shows up with the horrible demon, and presents the demon to the mangaka, who tries to apologize, but the demon is having none of it. The demon won't even look at him. So instead of, like, trying to, like, coax it and, like, hey, buddy, I'm really sorry. I got really mad. I'm sorry that I said those things. I was very frustrated because you'd trashed my house again and you'd ruined my manuscript, but it's okay. No, do you think this is a show that has a bunch of rational people trying to talk out their problems? No. That would be a more reasonable show. No, instead he tries to physically pull the demon off of the mushroom specialist. He tries to just grab him and yank him off, and the demon just sinks its claws into the mushroom specialist, holding on for dear life. The mangaka starts pulling harder. Hey, let's go, let go, come into my arms. This is definitely not threatening in any way. And for a brief moment, he manages to actually pull the demon off of the stalker, holding it aloft for just a moment, but not fast enough, because the demon grabs a hold of the mushroom specialist's beautiful mohawk, just grabs it with his horrible little hands and starts pulling like crazy, refusing to let go, as the mushroom specialist cries out as his hair is getting pulled from his head, and this stupid creature will not let go. So at this point, for those of you who are watching, what would you do in this situation? There's a couple of possible options, right? And one option is that you just stop pulling on the damn thing. Like, drop it back again and then try to reason with it, right? Talk through it, try to get, on a decent perspective. The other thing is maybe editor could come in and try to like pry off the individual arms, I guess, if we're going for full extreme violence. If you want to go that route, I guess. But what if I told you there was a third route? An unexpected route. The route that the show will take. Or what if you had a pair of scissors just in your purse for some reason? And what if you, as the editor, decided that the best way to handle this situation between multiple parties that are aggressively pulling each other back and forth is to insert a sharp object in the middle and cut off this man's glorious mohawk? The only thing that was great about this person was just that incredible mohawk. I can't even imagine how long it took to grow out, and she just snips it. Yes, I know! I'm so sorry, the editor was the most reasonable one, and then she does this. Yeah, the horrible demon has now let go of this man's hair after it has now been cut off. And as he falls to his knees crying, asking why in the hell she's carrying around scissors, she responds with one of the craziest things that I'm sure that the person writing this and their editor thought was just peak comedy. She says she's carrying scissors because she's an editor, because she makes cuts. I appreciate her sense of humor in this situation, even if it makes no sense whatsoever. Yes, indeed, peak cinema. The editor. If she hadn't just committed a terrible offense, it is actually like it is actually a wild, pretty decent joke to make. So yeah, anyway, now that the demon has stopped holding on to the man's poor hair, this entire situation, and now the mangaka properly apologizes, and the thing is like, okay, does the thing apologize now? Do you think the demon is going to apologize for anything? So anyway, he also apologizes to the mushroom specialist for having his hair cut. The mushroom specialist says, nope, no problem. It's okay. Here's a letter that your horrible demon was trying to write to you. That's why he was writing all of those messages and scribbling everywhere. He was trying to write you a letter. The two of them wrote it together for the mangaka. And it says, I love you, mangaka. His name is Hotaru. And this is just, there's a lot of layers to this, right? Like, this entire time, this horrible demon was trying to write, I love you. Which on one hand, you're like, oh, that's sweet. But then you're like, but it also, like, destroyed everything. Yeah, why didn't he start with that? Why didn't he hand this? Oh my gosh, that's a good point. Why didn't he hand this over immediately? This is what I'm saying. If we actually talked like rational adults, none of this would have happened. But no, we had to have that joke from the editor, so. So that hair had to get cut. That's what had to happen, unfortunately. So the mangaka realizes that all the scribbling that this horrible creature was doing was to tell him this. So, how y'all feeling? We're a decent chunk into the show now. We're about a quarter of the way. How are we feeling about our protagonist? Just getting himself into the craziest situations with all of these creatures and people. I'm glad it's very interesting so far. That's wonderful. Blown away, honestly. How many drinks in was this? Oh, Sky, do I have to admit that? Do I have to admit how many drinks it took to get through this show? Oh, some episodes were much worse than others. This isn't even like peak crazy. There has been some crazy shit that has already happened though. Oh God. But yeah, so episode 4 starts off with looking out into the backyard, looking out over the lawn that was burnt up several episodes ago, and watching in the early morning as the horrible demon is releasing spores into the air. Ugh. Unsightly way to start the day. Oh God. Absolutely terrible. We get to see the nice little spore trail just going up into the sky. Just wonderful. Great way to start episode 4. And this crazy, stupid bastard says to himself, I guess it's like going to the bathroom in the morning, which I'm gonna be totally real. Even if that was the case, you're just watching your demon just go to the bathroom? That's so weird, but it's, you all know. Y'all are very smart. You remember, it's not going to the bathroom. It is releasing spores into the air, a unit of sexual or asexual reproduction. He's just watching his demon jerk off in the backyard, and I don't know how to feel about that. That's how episode 4 starts. So he comments at this horrible thing, in addition to just like, I don't know, doing unsightly things at unsightly hours out in public. Also just eats and sleeps constantly. Just like eating everything that exists in this in this house. No, Shazzy! I unmuted at a wild time. My apologies. Listen, it's just factual. It's what was happening. I apologize. Because no, this thing is not only freeloading, it's just eating everything. And so he goes to his fridge and there's nothing in it. This man has no food because this horrible creature keeps eating all of it. So he sees that he's got a couple of eggs, which is generous. It's like 2 eggs. Sure, he has a couple of eggs. So he decides to make, with a little bit of mix he's got kicking around, takoyaki. I love takoyaki. It's great. Normally, though, it has stuff in the middle. Because, you know, the batter is definitely good, but, like, you want to have fillings in it, right? You want to have something tasty. Doesn't have to be an octopus. You can have other stuff in there. Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is not 2 eggs. I feel like there's a continuity issue there. This is definitely more than 2 eggs worth of takoyaki. Yeah, no, it is just the yaki. There's no taco, it's just yaki. So he makes plain yaki, just like with nothing in it. And then he feeds it to this demon and himself. This man's existence is just like a slideshow of misery. Like, the fact that he thought this was okay, it just is very concerning, you know? He thought this was an okay thing, not just for the demon to eat, but for him to eat, you know? That's concerning. So the demon eats this, and it becomes the demon's favorite food. Yes, takoyaki with nothing on it, nothing in it, just the batter by itself. This demon loves this thing. It loves this thing so much that it then proceeds to eat all of the takoyaki that is ever made in this house. So really, we didn't solve the problem of the mangaka eating. We just gave, like, new fuel to this horrible thing. So the editor, bless her heart. She's trying. She's trying to, you know, do the best that she can. This horrible creature is now in their lives. She sees a thing that it's obsessed with, and she decides to enable it. And, you know, I guess this is better than it making a mess in the kitchen elsewhere. So she buys, like, a jumbo takoyaki pan for this demon. It makes takoyaki that's 8 centimeters in diameter, which is crazy. What the hell? That's enormous. So just makes absolutely enormous takoyaki. And of course the demon is just delighted to hear this. It's so happy. So they give this demon a sharp implement for some reason. Why would you arm this thing? It's already proven that it's willing to set things on fire and throw people down hills. Don't give it a sharp weapon. It'll stab someone. We don't want a repeat of the Stepford Wives. Let's not go stabbing people over here. So anyway, they give it a sharp weapon. And mercifully, it is so entranced by the enormous Yaki that that it has a great time flipping them. In fact, they actually get some taco for it to try. So it is proper takoyaki. But yeah, it becomes delighted that it has actually succeeded in making an enormous takoyaki with actual octopus inside. It's pretty amazing. In fact, the creature is so happy that he immediately runs outside and just releases a bunch of spores into the sky. And everyone gathered runs out to go and watch as he releases the spores, with the mushroom specialist shouting aloud, "Look, it's white spores!" It must be a thank you gift from the horrible demon. I know, in front of the takoyaki. I cannot believe that this is happening. So no one in the show is sane. I guess Editor Chan is probably the most sane of them. Even if she will suddenly, like, whip out her scissors to cut things randomly. But yeah, they all just stare and watch as all the spores are going into the sky. And, yeah, the mangaka wonders to himself, I wonder why these spores are white. And I just... Why does the show put me in this position? Why does the show make me... The joke writes itself, right? Like... Why are the spores white? I wonder. I wonder why they're white. Yeah, no, they're all just enjoying the mushroom exhibition. The craziest thing to me is that the mushroom specialist is like, oh yeah, no, it's not jerking off. It's just happy. It's so happy. It's releasing the spores into the sky. And into the sky those spores go. Oh my god, they just float everywhere into people's homes, up towards the moon. It's just everywhere. Everywhere. So, anyway, episode 5. Sure, nothing will come of that. So it turns out that this new manga about this demon, this fake mushroom dog, it's so popular that they're going to have a signing event in another city, which will require a plane flight. They start making travel arrangements. The editor is on top of her shit, as always, trying to, like, make up for the mangaka just constantly spacing out and being like, I wonder why my weird dog is just jerking off every time that it gets happy. I don't know. It's so weird. So anyway, So the horrible demon is super excited. It wants to come along, hops into a backpack. It's ready to go to just inflict terror upon other cities. But the editor correctly assesses that no, we cannot take you with us. You are immediately going to be spotted by security, and then you are going to get thrown into like a research facility. Or they will try to exercise you right there. So don't do that, all right? So yeah, he is not going to be coming with them, unfortunately. But the mangaka is pretty rightfully worried about leaving this horrible demon by itself. After all, it has trashed his house, even when he's been around. So he calls in a favor to his stalker. Yeah! This man is still a character. He's got slightly better looking hair from when it was chopped off. Still sad that he lost the mohawk, but whatever. He's doing all right with it now. He's trying to cheer up the horrible demon, asking if it wants to make takoyaki with him and all of that. And trying to reassure it that, no, your mangaka will be coming back tomorrow. It's okay. Come and have the plain takoyaki with me. But the demon, it does not listen. It just sits at the edge of the porch, staring sadly, wondering when it will be able to terrorize this mangaka again. Yeah, I suppose that's true. You always can count on your stalker to show up at your house and look after your horrible demon. Well, speaking of stalker, though, as soon as the stalker realizes that it's getting nowhere, you know, nothing is happening with this horrible demon, he is not able to get the demon to do takoyaki making with him. So he sneaks off while the demon is staring sadly, wistfully outside the patch of lawn that it once set on fire. And he makes his way to a different room, carefully, quietly, sliding the door open. From his memory, he was told by the mangaka that it's totally fine to use anything in the house, which means he can go into this room, right? He can do whatever he wants, open up whatever drawers or anything else that he wants to. And so he goes and finds the mangaka's dresser, where all of his clothes are, thanking the mangaka for giving him permission to go through his belongings, and begins to open up one of the drawers, trying to figure out, does the mangaka wear boxers, boxer briefs, or briefs? Dear God, I don't want to know the answer to that, stalker. This is terrifying. Yeah, no, the mangaka has zero survival skills. Just none whatsoever, letting this person inside. But anyway, right before he's about to open up the drawer, the demon appears at the door, staring inside, judging this man with his every move. The man quickly straightens up, trying to reassure the demon that no, it's not what you think. I wasn't going through the mangaka's underwear drawer, creepily looking at his stuff. That would be weird and extremely creepy if I did that. Honestly, we can't see, if we go back, we can't see the one arm, so maybe the demon does just have the kitchen knife just ready to go. Or he's got the takoyaki stick. He's just ready to stab with it. It's his new favorite implement. So they decide to just skip forward in time. And we don't get to see anything else from these two for the rest of his time there. So we skip right forward to when the mangaka is getting back. So we have no idea if this man got into his underwear drawer at some later point. We hope he didn't. We hope that's the case, but I don't know. I'm gonna pretend like he didn't. So anyway, the mangaka shows back up, and the stalker is there, happily greeting him, and shows off the takoyaki that they made together. Oh, look at that. They bonded over takoyaki, finally, after the demon caught you trying to go through the underwear drawer. That's not him anymore. It's a mushroom body. Oh my god, you might be right. Maybe that's why they don't show us anything. It would be too graphic. Him getting stabbed to death and then coming back as a mushroom person. I'd never considered that. That's brilliant, though. That has to be what happened. I mean, they did a great job. This demon made like a perfect, like, copy of the stalker. Oh no, that's true. Oh no, if the house wasn't already bugged, it probably is now. Well, the stalker may or may not be a mushroom person now. Who's to say? Who's to say? But he proudly shows off this takoyaki now. And then pulls out his phone to try and exchange contact info again, only to make kind of a wild comment, stating that the mangaka does not own a cell phone. And it's at this point you might remember, oh yeah, he answered a landline before. That's not the weirdest thing. People still have like corded phones and stuff that they have in their homes. But at this point you'd probably assumed that surely he has a cell phone, right? For like going out and about. But no, he doesn't have a cell phone. He says that it doesn't make sense to him to have a cell phone, even though, you know, it might be helpful for when he's traveling and things. But whatever, I guess that's not the craziest thing. It's just a little inconvenient. But the demon holds the phone in its horrible little hands, and it loves the phone. It wants the phone. It wants to use it with a stylus to type words, because this is a better way for it to type than scribbling all over pieces of paper. But alas, there is no cell phone to be had. So we'll just put a pin in that for now. On to episode 6. The mangaka is at the bookstore picking up some books on how to make food that isn't just plain takoyaki and terrible soup. And as he's moving around through the store, suddenly someone bumps into him. All of a sudden. It's not unheard of. People bump into each other all the time. It is a middle schooler who immediately apologizes for running into him. She seems polite enough. She was just in a hurry running around the corner. And it totally happens to the best of us. But then she says the craziest thing that I could think of. She says, "I recognize you. Weren't you walking a dog-like thing along the riverbank the other day?" And I appreciate how she calls it a dog-like thing, because that's a pretty good description, right? It's not a dog, it's a demon, but she's not gonna call it a demon out in public. That's respectable. She might privately call an exorcist or something, but like a dog-like thing, a great way to put it. And it is at this moment that we flash back to when this horrible creature pushed him down a hill to, quote-unquote, cheer him up after the loss of his dog. And if you look in the upper right corner, something will suddenly appear. Yes, all along, she was there. She was there at the bottom of the hill, hiding behind a bush. It was her. So anyway, I'm sure she was just casually going on a stroll. There's nothing to read into that too much. I don't know why she's hiding there. It's pretty wild, but yeah. Turns out she saw that entire encounter, you know, where the dog creature, the demon, pushed him down a hill. And she looked up and saw this thing standing on its two legs, definitely like any dog would do, looking so proud of itself for having pushed this human down this hill. Oh god. And she says to this mangaka, "I want to see it again. Please let me see the terrifying dog-like creature. I want to see it with my own eyes." Remember, the only interaction she's ever had with this thing is seeing it push down, like, a human down a hill, and she's like, yeah, show me some of that. So that's not terrifying. So anyway, he says yes for some reason. Why does he say yes? I don't know. His survival instincts are so low. He's already invited a stalker into his home. What surely there couldn't be another stalker. So anyway, he's like, well, just come and meet this horrible thing at the entrance, okay? I'm sure it'll be fine. And so she goes in and she makes quick friends with this horrible demon. It really likes her and is willing to hang out. They go and end up spending more time together. They go to the backyard where they play with the weeds that are growing from the lawn that was burnt up by this horrible demon. They make little flower crowns together. Aw, little flower crowns off of the weeds growing from the ashes. Oh, it's so poetic. It's just beautiful. She even decides to stay for dinner. Just really invited herself into his life. She's complimenting the horrible demon on how it can make takoyaki on its own. And at some point, the editor and the other stalkers show up because they were going to hang out and have dinner with the mangaka. And they're like, oh, what the hell is this child doing here? Do your parents know you're here? The editor is over here just side-eyeing the situation of like, what the hell? Why is there a middle school girl here? And the mangaka's like, oh no, she was just really interested in the dog. And you know, he is stupid enough that she is like, okay, I guess that tracks. You're not a creepy person in a different way. But yeah, no, so... So she's like, okay, child, do your parents know you're here? Like, what are you doing here? I need to make sure that, like, adults know what is happening to you, that they know you're safe and that you haven't just run off or been kidnapped or something. And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. They're not home yet. It's okay. I always just show up whenever I want. It's fine. And you're like, oh, God. That sounds like a rough family life. I'm sorry, kiddo. So yeah. But yeah, no, it is pretty weird to have a schoolgirl accompany a middle-aged man to his house. So yeah, no, the editor's like, what the hell is going on? So anyway, the stalker looks upon the middle school girl with a different angle, listening to things that she's saying and becoming increasingly suspicious of her. She says something about how, oh, you know, if your fans found out that this horrible demon really exists, it could lead to a big problem. And the stalker immediately catches that, looking at her and being like, one of my own kind? Oh no, another one has infiltrated the ranks. He recognizes his own kin here. But anyway, he doesn't say anything about it for some reason. I guess he's just trying to suss out the situation. He's waiting for her to leave so that he can talk with them about it. So they go to wash the dishes, right? All three of them for some reason. Is the sink big enough for all three of them? It doesn't matter, whatever. They're helping. So they all go and they wash the dishes together, while the girl just sits in the living room with the demon on her lap as she strokes it, holding it, just staring down at it, ominously, for no particular reason. So anyway, they finish up washing the dishes and apologize that they took a little while, saying that now they're happy to walk her home. And they find an empty living room. Nothing is there. What? Where did they go? Maybe they're playing out in the yard. But no one is playing out in the yard. Both the demon and the girl have disappeared, with the door to the backyard left ajar. At this point, the stalker completely loses it. Talking through all of the shit that he had been suspecting, he blatantly calls this a kidnapping. Saying that it was weird enough that she claimed that she didn't know that the mangaka was an author, and yet she suddenly talked about his fame. hands. As well as the encounter at the bookstore was kind of unnatural. It was a bit weird. It was hard to believe it was a coincidence, especially when she brought up something so crazy as, oh, you were walking that weird dog-like thing, right? And he says, I suspect she knew everything about you and staged it. Oh, but yes, no, the question is, was she the one doing the kidnapping, or was she kidnapped? Oh, we flash to the next scene where we see her running through the streets barefoot for some reason. I guess not barefoot. She doesn't have shoes. She's wearing socks still. Why didn't she grab her shoes? She was in that much of a hurry that she didn't go through the front door. She just ran out the back. And then she's got this horrible demon swaddled in her sweater to try and obscure it from people looking on. Insanity. She has just taken this creature with her. What she sees in it, I cannot begin to understand. But then, as they finally near the final place where she's bringing this creature to, she thanks it for doing this favor for her. Then they flash back to her sitting in the room, staring down at this creature, and it actually goes through what she said to the creature. She said, "Small, scary demon, there's actually someone I want you to meet. But you have to keep it a secret from the mangaka." For some reason. Why they have to keep it a secret? I don't know. But she ran off. She kidnapped the demon and made a run for it. So they come to the place, the promised land, where it is that she wanted to take this demon. They stare up at the playground. It's completely nighttime, but the lights are still on and you can faintly see something in the distance. The girl says aloud, "Plum," and stares up at the top of the jungle gym. Standing at the top of the stairs of the playground is a very familiar looking form. It's another demon. It's a purple demon. They're multiplying. There's more of them now. This one is the Plum demon. He is canonically called Plum, so he is a Plum demon. Yes, no, there's more of them. They are multiplying. So anyway, this is what she has brought this demon here to see. That it has another demon. As we head into episode 7, and this thing looks down from the top of the playground. She pulls out a kid-friendly phone so that they can communicate with each other. No, they might as well be planning an invasion at this point. Oh my god. So, because they can both apparently type and, write, she gives them a phone so they can communicate with her and each other. And, the horrible, Turnip demon grabs this and starts typing out, "Oh, I already knew that there was a demon because you smelled like the demon. You had plum smell." And you're like, "Oh, okay. I wonder what smell that is." Is it like plums, hopefully? No, it's not like plums at all. No, the turnip demon immediately confirms that, the girl smells like plum spores. Which is one of the most horrifying things. Oh! And so she responds, "Oh, is that why you agreed to follow me?" "Because you could smell the spores from my horrible demon that were on my clothes." Ah! What is this horrible world that we are in? Okay, so, I promise I won't continue to flash this on screen, but, just in case we needed a reminder again. Of what a spore is, since this show just really, really wants you to know that they are just releasing spores constantly. They are just constantly jerking it. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. So anyway, the two of these horrible demons gather around this phone, excitedly typing upon it to each other as they reminisce of all of the fun spore creation that they've done. And then the Turnip demon sends a text message. For some reason, it knows the phone number of the stalker. Why does it know the phone number of the stalker? I don't know. The show tries to explain it at some point, being like, oh yeah, no, the freaky demon just memorized it at some point, but you're like, what? What? How? So anyway, they send a text to the stalker who is with the mangaka looking for the demon, and they pull up the text message being like, huh, that's weird. This is a message from an unknown sender. And this is the message that they see. Just full demon, just staring back at them. Look at how incredible this is. Look at it just staring back. You can see the playground in the background, which is the first thing that they are like, oh, wait, I know that playground. We can go there. But like, I just want you all to look at this horrible, horrible demon. Just taking this picture and sending it. Yes, no, the truth has been revealed. This is what I've been saying all along. It was just a demon this whole time. So yeah, they're a little concerned with this message. They're like, what the hell is this? The demon looks more demonic all of a sudden. But they recognize the playground, and so they know exactly where this is. So they make their way to the playground, and they find the horrible demon. They also find the small girl, the middle schooler, who has spores from her horrible demon on her clothes. Ah! Horrible! And the show just does not want me to grapple with that, but I am grappling with that show. You have done this to me. So anyway, the mangaka shows up, and the middle schooler's like, oh, I'm sorry for taking your demon away without telling you. And he's like, you mean kidnapping my demon? What the hell, small child? And yes, oh, you all are so astute. There's someone else in this picture, isn't there? There's someone hiding. Someone hiding behind the playground. Just peeking out. I wonder who this could be. Well, he doesn't see who the stalker is because he has zero survival instincts. So he rushes forward and pinches her cheeks, demanding to know why in the hell she kidnapped this demon. Why in the hell did this happen? Don't understand. And the stalker then reveals herself, walking out to say, oh, no, don't do that to the middle schooler, please. And the mangaka is like, what? Why were you hiding over there? The middle schooler then says, oh, this is my mom. This is my mother, who's just been hiding out here over around the jungle gym. And you might be wondering, what the hell? Why was she hiding? That's really weird. Whoa, what the hell? And it turns out she was hiding because she knows the mangaka. They went to the same elementary school together. Since old times, an old stalker, it seems like. And when they were much younger, she'd tease the mangaka all the time for his drawings, just posting them up and then poking fun at them in front of the entire class. And he realizes who this person is and is like, wow, we're adults now. Do you have some kind of grudge against me? Why did you have your daughter kidnap my demon, which I've decided to raise for some reason? And he starts, I don't know, he's not really raising his voice because he just has one emotion, which is just vacant. But this is, again, him slightly raising his voice. It is a semblance of another emotion that seems to be happening. But before he can get too mad, a Plum demon rushes forward and starts violently shaking him. It's actually not nearly as violent as the Turnip demon. For some reason, it's just kind of like feebly grabbing at him, being like, no, don't do that. Don't slightly raise your voice. Yes, no, don't become slightly less vacant. Oh, God. And at this point, he realizes that there's a second demon. Because up to this point, he did not realize there was a second demon. He just saw the humans, did not see the second demon. And is like, oh, wait, everything's coming together. Why did you want to keep this a secret from me? This all seems very stupid from start to finish. So anyway, they all come inside, they all take a look at this horrible demon, and the mushroom expert, the person who's supposed to be a specialist, a goddamn specialist, a scientist about mushrooms, says that this demon is a sibling of Kinoku Inu. No! This is Kinoku Inu's child! This is not a sibling! That is not how this works! This horrible Turnip demon is the parent, and the Plum demon is the child! How many times do we have to go over this, old man? How many times? This is... Ugh. Anyway, I'm glad you all understand. My God. But yes, no, they could have talked ahead of time and just arranged a meeting, but no, we're just like, ooh, they're siblings. And you're like, no, that's a child. That's the child of this horrible demon that you have. How many other children are running around this place? So anyway, and then they start explaining when this all happened. It happened last year, they wistfully say, and start talking about how on one blustery day when they had the windows open, the Spores just came on into the apartment, made their way into a dresser, and the Plum demon was born, just bursting right out of the dresser. So that was kind of a big surprise to them. But then they started seeing all of these new publications from this mangaka, and were like, wait, maybe it's not just us. Maybe there are other horrible demons just like this one that also exist in this town. So anyway, the three of them have been living together ever since. Yes, no, it is his clone child, his freaky clone child. It's horrifying, absolutely horrifying. Just the Yaki spore incident of 2024. Remember it well, when the Yaki was created, and it was so good that this horrible demon just went into the backyard and just made spores everywhere. So anyway, this entire incident finally convinces the mangaka that, hey, if I actually had a cell phone and my horrible demon had this cell phone, then maybe this entire thing wouldn't have happened. Because it could have just called us much faster. So he decides to get the demon a smartphone with a little stylus that it can use to write, which shocks the editor quite a bit. She's like, what? I've been trying to convince you to get a cell phone for years? I guess I'm glad now the horrible creature will be able to, like, communicate, I guess, a little easier. But then we find out, holy shit, we find out the reason why he hasn't had a cell phone up to this point. And they really tried to make this like this is pulling on your heartstrings thing, but like, let's talk about this. So we have a quick flashback, right? We have a quick flashback that occurs. Yeah, no, they don't get this horrible demon a kitty phone. They get a smartphone, you know, the really expensive kind. That it could have gotten the kitty phone that the middle school girl had, but nope, it's a smartphone. So anyway, we have a flashback to when this Mangaka's parents died. They died in a car crash because the other driver was on their phone and they weren't paying attention, which is objectively horrible and a pretty modern concern to have. Like, that's a pretty real thing to be worried about. But then the thing he takes from this isn't, I'm going to be a responsible person and not be on my phone when I'm driving. He just rejects the existence of cell phone after this. Cell phone equal car death for everyone. And so he just refuses to get a cell phone after this. And again, I shouldn't be too hard on him because, like, I get it. I think that there are plenty of people who would be in a situation like this who might not want to get a cell phone if they were ever in or knew people who were in a situation like this. But, like, yeah, he was a child. This had a big effect on him. So he decided not to get a phone. And you know what? Kudos to him, he stuck to his guns long into adulthood. Like, even at the point where he could have gotten a cell phone, he could have been responsible with it. He could have, been trying to be someone who wouldn't contribute to these problems. He didn't want to get a cell phone, and more power to him. But no, it was this horrible demon, this horrible demon who inserted itself into his life that necessitated him, like, once again reliving this trauma from his past of his parents dying from a car accident just so that this stupid thing will not get lost or kidnapped again. He buys a damn cell phone for this horrible creature. And, the creature is very thankful. It thanks him for buying the cell phone, and at least the turnip demon won't be kidnapped anymore. Am I right? Oh, God. Oh, you all are killing me, holy shit. And it didn't even need to kick him down a hill this time. Damn it, y'all are the best, holy shit. Oh my God, you're just so right. Yep. Didn't even need to kick him down a hill in order to get this cell phone. Just a wee bit more trauma for him to have to go and live through again. So anyway, episode 8. Oh, we're making good time getting through this. Oh, on to episode 8. He's got a big deadline coming up, and you know what that means. This horrible demon has got to get out of the house because this horrible demon will, even with the cell phone, still cause mayhem. So he kindly asks his poor editor to look after this horrible demon, and bless her heart, she says yes. God, I feel bad for this woman. So she's like, all right, I'll look after your horrible demon. He's like, all right, you better listen to the editor, okay, you horrible little demon? And the demon's like, yippee, off to cause mayhem in the real world, outside of the house. And you're like, oh, great. Oh, God. So the poor editor takes care of this horrible demon so that the mangaka can get some work done. Meanwhile, across town, in an apartment that we saw not too long ago. What's this? It's the Plum demon with his family. This woman I'm going to call Plum Mom, or maybe Mama Plum. Mama Plum, I think is what I'll go with. So Mama Plum is having some rice balls with this horrible little creature. And then she gets a phone call, a sudden phone call. She picks it up. It sounds like it's a bad phone call. It's some unpleasant person that she's talking to, asking her to do something she doesn't want to do. Eventually, she relinquishes her argument. She says, all right, this is fine. Fine. I'll do whatever you want. And you're like, well, okay, that doesn't sound good. Especially when she says, annoying business always seems to come up when it's hard to say you can't go, doesn't it? You're like, Plum Ma. What's happening? What do you have to do? Well, she has to go out now, and she can't leave her small little demon by itself. Her daughter is off hanging out with her friends. So what does she do? She goes to the only other person that she knows who can take care of this demon. Which is the mangaka. She shows up unannounced, hands over the Plum demon, saying that something came up and her daughter's out. So this is his problem now. So as he holds the Plum demon in his arms, looking at it and remembering that he had just shipped off his own demon so that he could get work done, and now he is responsible for this thing. The Plum mama leaves. She runs away. Before he can give this back to her. Oh god. The one small saving grace is that the Plum demon, for some reason, is much better behaved than the Turnip demon. Why that is, I don't know exactly. I don't know. It's just better behaved. It just very quietly draws little rice balls next to him. And he's like, wow, is this what it's like to have a demon that doesn't try to threaten your existence all the time? Huh. That's pretty cool. But just as he's about to get work done, he gets a phone call. He was so close. He gets a phone call from the daughter who's like, hey, I heard that my mom just dumped off the Plum demon at your place. Like, what the hell? I'm sorry. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it sucks, but what are you gonna do? By the way, do you know what on earth came up? Like, what is so urgent that she needed to dump this Plum demon at my place? And the daughter says, it's probably my dad. My parents are divorced, but my dad makes up all kinds of excuses to see my mom still. Ah! Why are there so many uncomfortable people in this show? Okay, so anyway, that is exactly what happened. So the divorced father called up the mom, called up Plum Ma, and was like, yo, come and spend time with me. And she's like, okay. Why did she say okay? You don't have to interact with this person anymore. You're divorced. You're free. Like, what the hell? Not only does she agree to go meet with him, she gets into his car. She gets into his car and is like, all right, where are you taking me today? She doesn't even know. She has no clue where she's going. She is going to a third location as he drives away to a place that she has no idea where she's going to. All I can say is, holy shit, don't do this. Oh my god, this is just a heap of red flags. Do not go to a third location with somebody that you are not on good terms with without telling anybody where you are going. Like, her daughter has no idea where she's going. The mangaka has no idea where she's going. She has no idea where she's going. What if he throws her in the ditch? What the hell? This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. So this is my piece of advice to you folks. Even if it's just like a date that you're going on, or with someone who you enjoy, or you're meeting up with someone for the first time, maybe tell someone that you're doing that. Maybe, like, if you're, you have like a trusted family member or a friend or someone, you're like, hey, so I'm going to X place. If for some reason I don't check back in with you at X time, like, I need you to, like, start looking for me, you know? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, no, she doesn't do this at all. So yeah, she just gets in the car, has no clue where she's going, and off they go. Terrifying. So anyway, we leave her perspective horrifyingly and return to the poor editor who, oh my god, this poor woman. She's just like roaming around the shopping center trying to keep herself busy. And she runs into an old childhood friend who's there with her family. And they're like, oh, is that your pet? Oh, it's really cute. And this woman has like a bunch of children and like a family and everything. They wave goodbye to her and the dog. I don't know why everyone thinks it's a dog, but I guess if you're able to squint hard enough, it looks like a dog. And then the editor is like oh my god, she gets really quiet and looks after the family. And like, you're immediately realizing that she wishes that she had a family. And you know, I empathize with that. Like, it is not in my own interest. Like, I am never going to have children, but plenty of people want to have children. And like, here she is being confronted with the fact that like, she does not have a family that she wants and is babysitting this horrible demon. And you're just like, oh my god, editor, I'm so sorry. She like has to sit down for a little bit and is just kind of like spacing out, looking around. And the turnip demon looks up, seeing that she's distressed. And it does the only thing that it knows how to do. It starts destroying shit. It runs over to a nearby takoyaki selling area and it just starts like trying to trash the booth because the only way that it knows how to comfort is to destroy. That is the only thing that this creature knows how to do. It just must destroy. And anyway, it does snap her out of like her very sad, depressive state. And she rushes over before this thing starts absolutely trashing this place. And she's like, okay, oh god, small demon. Oh, let me pick you up. It's all right. Let's go and buy the takoyaki. Will that make you happy? Let's go and buy another machine. You already have one that I bought you, but I'll get you another one. So anyway, this appeases the horrible demon and it stops trying to destroy things. It happily bounces back to their place with a brand new takoyaki machine. Ready to make that good yaki, but it's hopping on its two legs, right? Like it's not walking like a dog because it's holding this in its arms. So anyway, she ends up picking it up because she's like, no, I'll carry you home. People will freak out if they see you walking on two legs. You're supposed to be a dog. And this is a beautiful moment to me because it embodies everything I've been trying to say up to this point. This is the show directly acknowledging that this is not a dog. You should never have thought of this as a dog. This is a demon. This is a demon. It is a demon posing as a dog, and we should treat it as the demon that it actually is. And I'm glad that we're finally at the point where we can acknowledge that this is a demon. Anyway, speaking of horrifying things, we're back with Plum Mama, you know, with her ex driving out to the middle of nowhere. He takes her to a secluded hilltop. Oh my god, in the middle of nowhere, just saying, oh, this is your favorite spot to see the city lights, right, honey? Don't you remember when we were married still and you liked looking at the lights with me here in this secluded place where nobody knows where you are? And so they stare together, looking out over the city with nobody around for miles. And she decides to pull out her phone, which is just you know what? That's a bold move. It's a bold move. Your ex-husband has like dragged you out to this secluded place, just on a whim, hoping that he's able to win you back. And you're like, yeah, I can't be. I'm just gonna pull out my phone. So anyway, she pulls out her phone, just ignoring him, and looks at a message from her daughter, which is her daughter and the Plum demon, just like, you know, having some rice balls together. And as she stares down at the phone, it takes her back. Woo, 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 back in time. It's flashback time. Oh shit, you thought that we were out of the flashbacks, but you were so wrong. It's flashback time. All right, we're back to when the Plum demon was first encountering these people, and it was learning the wonders of rice balls. Yes, rice balls. Rice balls that, as far as I can tell, don't have anything in them. I don't think there's any filling inside of this rice ball. It's just rice with some seaweed around it. Just a little bit of nori and some rice. I mean, it's not like that's terrible. I hope there's some salt on the outside, but like, you really hope there's filling. But anyway, we flash back to it being delighted to eat these rice balls that she made. To which, in this flashback, she starts crying, being so happy that the creature is enjoying her rice balls because it's the only thing that she knows how to make. And when she got married, it was the only thing she knew how to make. And her husband said that that was okay, but she still has only been able to make rice balls, which is, oh God, so many layers of sad. Like, oh my God, they really thought we'd make a great family, even though I could only make rice balls. So a couple of questions. Why didn't your husband learn how to cook if like you weren't able to cook? Men can cook? What are we on about? Next layer. Why was this the prerequisite for like your life falling apart? By the way, I am not like cutting a whole bunch of stuff out. This is like the reason that she gives for why their relationship falls apart. There is nothing else. It is just this, that like she can't cook. And that's shitty, right? Like, that's shitty. Screw this guy a little bit. Like, oh my God, what the hell? So she's so happy that this horrible demon likes her rice balls because it's the only thing that she can make, and this thing loves it. I feel like it's a bit of a theme with these horrible demons. They like really bland stuff. I don't know. They just get really addicted to it. So, So anyway, yeah, flashback is over. She is looking at her phone wistfully. Oh, and the confidence begins to return to her face. I don't need this man who doesn't like my rice balls. She tells him straight to his face, I won't come out here again with you. Don't call me anymore. And then she walks off. Mercifully, he does not chase after her or like throw her off of a cliff or anything. So that's good, but like crazy, absolutely crazy. Like if you are in a situation where you have to tell someone off, you should again probably tell other people in your life so that they know where you are in case something breaks bad. Am I right? It's good to have backup, maybe close by even. Holy shit. Oh, so anyway, she makes her way back to go and retrieve the Plum demon that she so rudely put upon the mangaka. And the entire gang is here, I guess except the stalker. Everyone else is here. They all gather together, and she appears with, I kid you not, 5 kilos of rice. 5 kilos of rice she's just carrying because this is her identity now. She is the rice ball lady. Then she bends down to the Plum demon and tells it, let's make more rice balls together, you and me. Absolutely unhinged. Holy shit. And you know, that's probably fair. The stalker's probably hiding somewhere nearby. So yeah, no, she is actually, I think that is a really good, she has graduated from Plum Mom to Rice Mom. She is Rice Mom now. So yeah, she's both Plum Mom and a Rice Mom, but not together. She's not putting any umeboshi in those rice balls. They're just plain. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be responsible before we hop into this next section. We've made it, folks. We're so close. We're within striking range of the end of this. Holy shit. I can't believe it. We've done it. So I'm going to very quickly have a drink. And then we will hop into the last bit of this. Oh, this show is so crazy. Holy shit. Oh, God. Okay. Alrighty. I'll have you folks hang out on my Be Right Back screen with little chibi Yumi, and I'll be back soon. Oh, why, hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting while we were on a very quick hydration break. I had to go get myself some more water, and also just make sure that we all had a nice little sanity break, you know? It was much needed, I think, after all of that. All right, folks, I'm very proud of you. You've almost made it through this entire show. But yeah, we have just a tiny bit more to get through before I release you from this torture. All right, episode 9. Ooh, off to a great start already. The spores are already here. The spores are already here, right early in the morning. Well, as our horrible turnip demon is just releasing those spores, he looks forward to see someone is looking over the gate, or excuse me, not the gate, the wall. They're looking over the wall down at this horrible creature just jerking off right early in the morning. It's a person we've never seen before. This is not our stalker. This is someone else. Someone completely brand new. Oh God, a brand new character? 9 episodes into the series? Oh God, do we have another stalker on our hands? Well, the small demon is so startled by this that he runs back inside to try and tell the mangaka, but the person has already disappeared. So he becomes very disgruntled. He is not even enjoying his daily Yaki. Oh, what a terrible situation. He's not even enjoying eating the dough balls. Man, this has really gotten our demon quite upset. Well, anyway, he goes out there again later. And sure enough, oh God, right over the wall, it's the person again. But they're not alone this time. As he takes in this person staring over the wall, he sees that there's a giant, horrifying snail upon his head. Why is there a snail upon his head? The horrible demon just stares, completely dumbstruck. And just one of the most relatable moments that this creature has had, it completely goes into absolute terror mode. An appropriate response from the demon. This is absolutely terrifying. The demon runs inside, trying to let the mangaka know what the hell is happening. And the mangaka cannot make any sense of it. Like, all of the words are just snail, snail on head, snail. And the mangaka's like, what? There's no snail on your head. I have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, the doorbell rings. Oh, someone is here. And it sounds like it's the editor. Oh, one of our favorite characters. Well, that's good. If it's the editor, maybe she can come in and tell us what the hell was going on with that creepy person. So the demon happily runs forward, unlocking the door and opening it for the editor, staring up, excited to see one of the few decent people in this series. And who should walk in but the man over the wall with the horrible snail still on his head, staring down at the demon with its horrible eyes. And this just breaks the demon. This absolutely breaks the demon. Oh my God. The editor panics, rushes in. She was there with this person and apologizes, saying that this is her younger brother. That is why she was here. She's here with her younger brother. So apparently all is kind of okay. He's related to the editor, so maybe he's got a tiny bit of sense. A bit questionable, if I'm being honest, at the moment. But, you know, it turns out that he is also a mangaka. He's actually a rather well-known mangaka as well. He creates the Snail Senpai series. Do I know what that's about? No. Do I want to know what that's about? No. But anyway, this horrible thing on his head, this horrible snail, is not in fact a real snail. It is a horrifying hat that is merchandise from his series. But yeah, no, I don't believe it for a second. I think that the snail is real and that it is controlling him. I completely agree with you all. 100%. This is a real snail. This is not a hat. Anyway, then the horrible demon describes its deep, dark past, back when it was still a small mushroom pretending that it wasn't a demon, and how this horrifying snail tried to eat it, and it had to fling the snail off. So anyway, that's why the horrible demon doesn't like snails, because snails eat mushrooms. But again, this thing is not a mushroom, right? This thing is a demon, so whatever. I don't know. I guess the snail didn't know that. So the mangaka's like, well, you know, this snail is just a hat. Maybe it can help you overcome your fear. And so he holds it out to the demon, begging it to put it upon its head and be controlled by it. But the demon has some amount of sense and flings the hat away, refusing to be controlled. He is the one in control. He is the one who will burn everything to ashes. So anyway, it turns out the mangaka was here because he wanted to invite them to his newest exhibition, but that's not happening with the horrible demon. So it's just gonna have to be the mangaka. So anyway, the mangaka goes to Snail Senpai's exhibition, and meets up with the other mangaka. We got dual mangakas. Oh, we're dual wielding them now. 2 mangakas, can you believe it? So anyway, we go into the Snail Senpai exhibition, and I need you all to just like really absorb this for a second. Like really just like breathe it in, absorb it with your eyes and with your soul. See all of the psychedelic colors and all of the people just wandering around with these horrifying snail masks. Oh my god, I don't know. I guess this series is popular enough that it gets this whole horrifying art exhibition. It's kind of terrifying. Anyway, there's also pictures, like 3D pictures of the snail mangaka, Snail Man with the snail hat, going on snail adventures, and like you put on the 3D glasses and then it looks like you're really there. You can be Snail Man too. And I don't know, this mangaka just like goes all over the world with this snail hat, I guess. That's just like his deal. He's got a big following. I could see how it would go viral, but yeah, I just have to show you like a close-up of these snail glasses. So these are like 3D snail glasses, just so that you can really immerse yourself in all of the snail pictures. Oh god. So he returns back from the exhibition, his mind completely altered from all of the snails that he has seen. And he is greeted by the sight of the 2 demons. They're running very fast at him. Unnaturally fast. Your first instinct might be, oh god. They're here. They're ready to like throw him to his knees. And maybe they think that he's upset for some reason, and because they only know how to destroy, they're ready to like destroy his kneecaps so that he'll feel better again. But no, they do something even crazier. They run forward with the phones in their hands, and then they chuck the phones as hard as they can. They chuck the phones past the mangaka into the neighbor's tree across the street. And then they start cheering. And then... So they have just like tossed the phones past the mangaka as soon as he has come home. And he then turns to the person who's supposed to be babysitting these horrible demons, Rice Mom. And he's like, Rice Mom? Can you explain what the hell is going on here? What? So then we flash back. Rice Mom is like hanging out with the demons, right? And she's explaining to them how phones are machines. And that means that you never know when they'll explode and become unusable. Which, yeah, rightfully freaks out the demons, because they're like, oh, something can explode outside of my control. No, no, no. So yeah, because of what Rice Mom said, they went and threw the phones into the neighbor's tree. A+ parenting. Yeah, just like really crushing it over here, Rice Mom. So anyway, the mangaka is just completely done with all of this shit. He turns to the demons and is like, okay, demons, cell phones don't explode. Don't throw them again. And yes, there have been instances of some cell phones catching fire and having issues. Those have been few and far between. You are much safer with your cell phone than you are with a vape. Just saying. Cell phones at least have a semblance of regulation. Vapes do not. So anyway, the cell phones, he's trying to reassure them that they won't explode. Please do not throw them again. Oh god. So then he has to go and retrieve them from his neighbor's tree. At least they ended up in the tree and not on the ground. So he makes his way awkwardly to his neighbor across the street and is like, hey, I'm sorry. Can I get some phones from your tree? And this old lady comes out and is like, oh, mangaka, I haven't seen you in so long. Look how much you've grown. My grandson loves your books too, you know. And he's pretty surprised by this, saying that it's an honor. They haven't spoken in quite a long time, but it's nice to know that he's got some fans close by. She lets him into her yard and he goes and fishes out these phones that are in her tree. Oh my god. To which she's like, you know, I haven't asked you this, but how on earth did those phones get up there? Like, that's very strange. And then the turnip demon, it appears. It appears from around the corner, standing on two legs, you know, the thing it's not supposed to be doing. It rushes over, and this old lady, bless her heart, is just like, oh, look at this strange dog. Let me hold it. Oh. And as she holds it, she says something that I haven't been pointing out too much up to this point, but every single person who picks up this horrible demon says the same thing. They don't say, oh, how cute, or how plush, or how weird and freaky this thing is. No, they all say, you're heavier than I expected. Every single one of them. What is that horrible demon hiding inside? What horrible things is it hiding that's making it weigh so much? I don't know. It's worrying, though. The fact that every single person says this is very alarming. The burden of its sins so heavy. I mean, you might be right. You might be right. It could be, but I'm just saying, it's some food for thought. It's creepy that they all say that it's heavier than they thought. More spores. Oh no, don't say that. No. Oh no, that's probably right. It's just filled with spores. Just an absolute avalanche of them. Okay. So anyway, she's like, well, all right, have fun with your weird dog. See you later. And he is relieved that she thinks that it was a weird dog and not a horrible demon like it actually is. Anyway, on to episode 10. We only got 3 more episodes to go. Holy shit. So a phone call comes in at the start of episode 10. It's from our stalker. Oh, the mushroom specialist. He's calling the mangaka and saying that he would like to return the takoyaki pan that he borrowed. Which is cool, I guess. Like, sure, yeah, you can return that. But he's being very weird about it on the phone. He's asking if they can meet up at a park first, which is okay, fine. And then they'll walk back to his place together. I don't know. The whole thing is very weird and deliberate. The mangaka's like, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, you could just come over to my house first, but whatever. So anyway, they agree to meet up at the park. And our stalker goes to his closet to decide what outfit shall he put on for today's outing. And as he's looking through his clothes in his closet, he pulls aside a view of something that's in there. He reveals, hidden away in his closet, is a body pillow with the mangaka's face on it. It's an interesting expression too, because it almost seems like a candid photo, right? Like he took a photo and just blew it up onto a body pillow, and then he just got in his closet. Yeah, not absolutely goddamn terrifying. So yeah, that's how we start episode 10. Anyway, the mangaka is none the wiser. He turns to the horrible demons who he's babysitting the Plum demon for some reason. I don't know. I don't think too hard about it. The Plum demon is here, I guess. So he tells the demons, all right, let's go on a walk together. And they're super excited, ready to go and wreak havoc in the world. But interestingly, he makes the decision to not treat them like dogs. So they just walk like people with a little purse and everything on their 2 legs as they go to the park together. Just like dogs do, am I right? And then they get to the park and they start playing upon all of the things at the park. Woo! Just like a dog would do. Ooh, just gotta ride on top of that zebra and just have a great time. The fun quickly comes to a stop when a small child sees them at the park because, they're just in broad daylight, just hanging out there. A child who is coming to the playground to hang out and have fun sees these demons that are hanging out on the playground. And, he immediately blurts out, "It's Kinoku Inu!" Because yes, this child, mercifully, is a fan of this series. He has the whole collection of all of the books, and he can't believe that he's seeing the demon in person. Can you believe it? Oh my word. He just is giving up on hiding them. So this completely goes to the turnip demon's head. It immediately starts posing and doing a bunch of tricks and things that a dog would just absolutely not be able to do. And the child's father shows up and is like, "What kind of dog is that?" To which the mangaka responds, "It's a mixed breed." Which, is surprisingly accurate because this horrible creature is indeed a mixed breed. It's not a dog. It's a mix of turnip and destruction. Yes, now we're getting somewhere. The show is self-aware. I'm so glad it finally understands what it is about. This is not a dog. This is a demon of turnip and destruction. Well, anyway, at least we cleared that up. So, the mangaka's like, okay, this is all fine and dandy, but was I not supposed to meet my stalker here? Also, where the hell did the Plum demon go? And he looks over and sees that the 2 of them are hiding behind a tree. With the stalker looking angrily out, seeing that he's talking to another man, even though it's just a man with his child. No, that's not good for the stalker. Jesus Christ. Okay, so they end up walking back, and the stalker pulls out multiple fancy trays that have food in them. To which the mangaka's like, "Wait, I thought you were just returning a takoyaki pan. What? What is all of this?" I now present to you all the main course of this evening. I hope you all are prepared, that you haven't eaten too much up to this point, and that you are ready to have, just a delightful array of delicacies tonight. Our first course is a Mediterranean-style takoyaki paired with fresh cheese and love. You can tell that there's love because the carrots are heart-shaped. But just in case you didn't know, our second course is a French-style takoyaki paired with seasonal veggies. Also, topped with love. This one needed more explanation because there are no hearts this time, but you understand. Oh, actually, my apologies. There is a heart on the plate. Oh, I almost missed it. I'm glad he pointed it out. And our last course is the chef's special takoyaki, served with magical love. Oh, you know it's magical because, oh, look at all those swirls and a bunch of hot peppers too. Oh, it's spicy love too. So of course the demons are delighted by this, right? The demons are absolutely delighted by this. So they're super excited to dig in, right? No, here's the thing. Honestly, this is pretty impressive. It's an impressive array. That's why I said you all should be prepared to eat it. It looks pretty tasty. And he clarifies, the stalker does, that he just wanted to master the favorite thing of the person I love's favorite thing. Whew. That's a mouthful. And the mangaka looks over at the table and with as much muster as he can, because again, he has one emotion, which is vacant. And he is slightly less vacant for a moment as he says, "What a treat. Man, you really outdid yourself, stalker." And the stalker is delighted by this. The stalker is delighted that his takoyaki made the mangaka smile. Oh, we're getting somewhere now. Oh, God. It looks like bugging the apartment was the correct thing to do. But yes, no, when I saw all of this takoyaki, I did want to consume the takoyaki. So I guess good job, stalker. You made me hungry for it. Mercifully, we're interrupted by some guests that arrive. Look, it's Snail Man and Rice Mom. What are they doing together? Apparently they met at his exhibition, and now they're here with a bunch of roasted chestnuts. Excuse me. They've got a bunch of chestnuts now that they're going to consume together. And at this point, Snail Man, who is related to the editor, right? Like, he's the brother of the editor. He rolls in and he's like, I heard from my sister about how your dog passed away. And you're like, wait, you didn't know that already? How did you not know that already? Did she not say anything about? Did you never ask? How did this not come up the first time you were here when you appeared with your horrible snail hat? Why is this the first time we're talking about this? But whatever, plot contrivance. I'll live with it. So anyway, they all talk about how much they miss her because, again, him and the mangaka and his sister, the editor, they were all friends when they were children, and they're still friends now. And he really wants to go to the grave together. The gallery is closed next Monday, so they can go check out the grave and say their farewells once again to the dog. Which the mangaka thinks is not a terrible idea. He hasn't visited in a while. And so they decide to go away to the grave. We're only 2 episodes away now. The second to last episode, y'all. Are you ready for episode 11? The one where they go to the grave? Because I hope you're ready. Buckle up, folks. Whatever you think is about to happen in this episode, whatever you think could possibly take place in the next 2 episodes of this series, I don't think that you are prepared, because I was not prepared for this whatsoever. Okay, so episode 11 begins. They're on their way to go and visit the grave. A decent setup for a poignant episode, right? It's not like they haven't slipped up on the landing for every other episode up to this point. So they show up at the grave. And honestly, it's really sweet. The entire family, including the dog, has all been buried together. They were all cremated, but they all have one grave where their ashes are kept. And that's a really nice sentiment. Honestly, I think that's actually really nice. So they all go, they pray at the grave of the family. And our main character, the mangaka, just starts thinking to himself of all the people he's lost. And you kind of feel bad because, like, everyone he's lost in his life, it's a lot. He lost his parents to a horrible car accident. He lost his grandparents to old age, and he lost his dog to cancer. And here they all are, buried at this grave. It's a very nice moment for a series that's been kind of terrifying up to this point. But don't you worry, they're not gonna let it be poignant for long. What show do you think this is? Do you think this is a rational, reasonable show? No, of course not. So, the Snail Man, he stands up and he says aloud, hey, so I don't mean to interrupt your reminiscing over here, but I've been meaning to ask, why is there an engraving of a mushroom that's over there, just hanging out over on the side? What's it doing there? And at this point in time, it suddenly becomes clear that our main character has never seen this before. He is also shocked that there is an engraving of a mushroom on the side of the grave. And as he stares at it, a strange memory comes back to him. Are you all ready for this? I want you to grab yourself, if you've got a nice drink, if you've got something to eat, put it down for a second. Hold on to your seat, because this next reveal is one of the most buck-wild things I have ever seen an anime try to do. So he has a memory that pops into his brain. He remembers his grandmother. His very odd grandmother. He is the one who calls her very strange, to be clear. And he remembers her telling him when he was a small child about how she had found an interesting mushroom. Because do you remember when I said that mushroom had been growing in his yard ever since he was a child? There was a reason why I planted that early. It was so that we could flash back to this moment about where the mushroom came from and how it came to be in that yard. As he begins to reminisce, he thinks to himself, Grandma was a mysterious person. Sometimes she would call him out to the yard to go and look at the garden and show him plants that she had just put in the soil yesterday. Like this one memory he has of these balloon vines that she planted just as seeds, and then they had sprouted the next day. He, as a small child, asks his grandmother, are they supposed to grow this much in a day? To which she ominously responded to him, who knows? Oh my god, let me tell you, which grandma was not on my bingo card for this show? But here we have it. Which grandma is just has become a character. So anyway, she tells the child, I found something interesting in the park, my young grandson. It's a mushroom. Do you want to go and see the mushroom? Yes, he wants to go see the mushroom, he says. But she says, make sure to keep this a secret from Grandpa. Which is not ominous whatsoever. It's not absolutely crazy. So anyway, they go to the park together. They walk in the woods in a place that our small mangaka has never seen before. I guess he's pre-mangaka at this point. They walk through the woods for a long time on a path he's never been on before, and then they end up in this small, secluded area where there's a mushroom that's just hanging out by itself. Oh, and his grandmother is like, oh, look at this little mushroom that we have found in the woods. Yes. And she leans towards the small mushroom and begins to speak to it. Oh Oh my god. So anyway, as she begins to speak to it, it begins to move back and forth, back and forth. Yes. It's already gained sentience as it is talking to them. So the small child leans forward, looking at this thing, in wonder at, oh wow, maybe I can talk to this thing too. So he tries to speak to it aloud, and it sprays spores in his face. Don't you love how we've come full circle? It's always been about the spores. The spores came back. He's been infected this long. We thought he'd only been infected recently, but it was from the beginning. He's always been infected with the spores. Oh, and the grandma's amazed. Wow, it was so happy to see you that it sprayed spores. What a great sign that is. It wants to come with us. And she plucks it out of the ground. And I can't help but just mention its shape right now is not particularly great with the whole spore thing going on, but whatever. It's a mushroom, am I right? It's fine. So we grab the suspect mushroom right out of the ground and just take it back with them. It wants to be in their garden. So she plants the mushroom into the garden. Where it has stayed for the rest of his childhood. Oh my god. So, anyway, they bring it back with them, put it right into the garden. And the boy asks, why does it want to be in our yard? And she says, oh, small child, you'll understand in due time. The most ominous shit ever. His grandmother was just a witch, and she brought this demon here. She is responsible for all of this. I blame her. Oh, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So that has all just been revealed in episode 11. We're here. Home stretch, folks. Last episode. I'm so proud of y'all. We're getting through this in record time. So we're back to the current time, right? We're seeing this mushroom that has been carved into the side of this. And he immediately is like, what the hell was grandma up to? What the hell did she do? So he, after visiting the grave, rushes back to talk to the editor and is like, editor, what the hell do you make of all of this? And she's like, well, maybe you could go through your grandmother's belongings just to see if you can't find any hints. Maybe she left a diary or something else behind, something that would be helpful here. So, editor's still doing her best to the last. So he proceeds to open up his storage where he's just been keeping all of their belongings without organizing any of it, without going through any of it, because, he's fine just throwing all of this on a fire for all I care, but he's deciding to actually look through it now. Yeah, wouldn't it be great to have something about how to exorcise this horrible, horrible creature? That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. But anyway, he hopes that there's something in there, but man, he is really just put out by this entire thing. It's gonna be such a mess going through all these boxes, but he's gonna do it. Meanwhile, while he is doing that, the horrible demon is once again making the Yaki. He is once again doing war crimes, and the phone starts ringing. Who's this? It's Stalker-kun? Why is he calling? The horrible demon picks up the phone and sees that it's the stalker and makes this very appropriate face looking at this in response. However, while he is looking at this on the phone, the takoyaki that he had on his murder stick, it falls off and it starts bouncing away, much to his absolute terror. So the demon runs after the takoyaki, which goes outside. Man, this thing it's got some bounce to it. I don't know what that horrible demon is doing to it, but I don't know, it went far. So it goes outside and it realizes, oh, it's quite dark out here. But it's the daytime. What's this? It's the first storm of our series, the first proper thunderstorm. We've had rain up to this point, but not actual thunder. And so the demon looks up at the sky. Instead of going back inside, it just stares upward where the lightning and thunder are striking and rumbling, and it just looks up in amazement, because of course it does. It looks up at another avatar of destruction, just like itself. Meanwhile, the mangaka is making some progress going through these boxes, and finally, he finds the diary of his grandmother, which is very conveniently written as diary. He pulls out the diary and begins to read it, finding the pages about when this horrible demon was found by his grandmother, and then lightning is striking outside. The storm is officially here. It is starting to torrentially rain. There is a ton of thunder and lightning. In fact, it is striking very close by. He looks out the window, distracted by this, and sees his horrible demon creature dancing around in the pouring rain with this murder implement in his hand, and so he puts down the diary, rushes out to get this stupid, horrible demon creature, bringing it inside. And as he does so, he has tucked the diary under his arm, and it falls to the ground. Why did he do this? Why did he not put it down inside? I guess you all are right. The brain rot via shroom is pretty real. Because he just drops the diary onto the ground, and as he retrieves this horrible demon and starts making his way back inside, there's someone in the background that's just standing there, staring forward at the rest of us. Oh, it wouldn't be a finale without our resident stalker showing up for our wonderful party. He says, "You didn't answer your phone when I called, so you must be busy. So I came here and stood in the rain." You can see he's just been standing there for quite some time with how wet he is. Why didn't he come inside? I don't know. Maybe he was watching the horrible demon. Who could say? So anyway, the mangaka beckons him inside. Just to try and get out of the rain, completely leaving the diary behind. So yeah. Anyway, good job. Found the diary and I've just left it out in the rain. Meanwhile, the stalker has brought yet another confection. Honestly, it's really impressive. Like, he's pretty good at cooking and baking. Like, I want to eat all of this if I wasn't terrified of this person. So anyway, he brings this cake over, and is extremely happy that it's storming outside because he wants to spend the night here. He spent the night here once before, but the mangaka wasn't here at the time, so now is his chance to spend the night for real. Stalker, no. Thankfully, and for whatever reason, I guess because it's the finale, everyone is now showing up. So we've got Rice Mom and Rice Child, as well as the Plum Demon. They're here to deliver grapes. I guess they were given a bunch of grapes from some neighbors, and they're here now, so thankfully the mangaka is safe. From the stalker just going through all of his shit, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, of course, because we have to have everyone gather here, the editor, this poor woman, shows up at the very end with everyone already inside, and this woman, no one else, just her, is the one who sees the diary on the ground. Of course, old Reliable is here again. She picks up the diary and brings it inside, but it is too damn late. It has been in the pouring rain this entire time. She only just showed up to try and save the day, and the diary is trashed. It is trashed. So anyway, this is a bummer. After he went through so much to find it, he just left it in the rain. God damn. The rest of the group leaves politely. The stalker ends up making friends with Rice Mom and Rice Daughter, so I guess that's something. He's got more friends. That's cool. Oh god, I don't know. The three of them as a combo is kind of terrifying. Just the stalker trio. I don't want to think about the consequences of that. But anyway, the editor has a pretty decent idea, which is, you know, this sucks that the diary was ruined, but what if we just ask the horrible demon directly? You know? Like, see what it says. Where did it come from? All that stuff. And so, she decides to do it. She asks the demon, "What are you? Where did you come from?" This is our moment, folks. We've been waiting all this time for the moment. What is this creature? Where did it come from? Why is it so hell-bent on destruction? All of your answers and more are about to be answered. Are you all prepared for the great reveal? All right, 3, 2, 1. The creature responds with confusion. Yes, that's right. This entire show builds up to where did this thing come from? Why can it talk? Why can it do all these things? And they say, screw you. Just absolutely screw you. So anyway, there is your wonderful answer. It's just a question mark. Just a question mark. Just like the show. Honestly, I wasn't sure what I was expecting at this point, but like with the build up to this episode, I was like, damn, we got witches now? Maybe we'll actually get some answers, but no. Bless the editor's heart, she tries to salvage the show for everyone watching, being like, it doesn't matter to me what the horrible demon is now. After all, we're all friends. And like, bless you, editor, for trying, but you can't save this. Your scissors can't save this. Sky, we got the lost ending. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. Oh god. So anyway, this is the conclusion of our show, and honestly, it's almost beautiful in a way, right? Like it's just the ultimate cuck. Like this horrible creature has just been terrorizing us for 12 episodes, and at the very end, when we're like, "Why have you been doing this?" It just says, "Go to hell." I'm doing this because I'm me, because I get to terrorize you, because I am the turnip demon. So anyway, oh my god, Uematsu. It's like a roller coaster with a big build up, taking you to the top, and you peek over the top, get ready for the fall, and it shuts down. Yeah, no, we all walked off this roller coaster. It's incredible. Oh no, wait for season 2 when it grows into a mushroom wife. No! Oh god, that would be its next evolution though. Holy shit. Oh god. So anyway, this horrible demon leaps into the yard as part of the finale after it has just cucked us. And it starts digging in the yard for something. It looks very satisfied when it has actually found whatever it is it's digging for. What is it trying to find? What is hidden in this yard that it's looking for? Is it the answers? The answers to what you are, you stupid demon? No. No, it's just a trashed phone. Ah, yes, the trashed phone. Because if you recall, back before the storm started, this stupid demon was glaring at this phone and took it outside and then danced in the rain, dropping this phone on the ground where it is now trashed. Its one precious possession. I don't know, it's almost poetic, right? This is the one thing that it got, like, another thing to just, like, put the main character through more trauma of his parents dying. And no, it just destroyed this too. Because after all, this thing only knows how to destroy. It is very distressed that this was an unintentional destruction, but it is a destruction all the same. So we finished the show with some last words of wisdom from our horrible, horrible turnip demon. Now that it has learned to write, it writes a message demanding that the mangaka go buy it a new phone. And this shot is how we end the series, with this horrible demon with this stupid, stupid look on its face as our main character looks vacantly onwards at it. This is just the whole show right here, just in a nutshell. You know, give it a kitty phone this time, indeed. God damn, don't buy a smartphone. Holy shit, it's just gonna break it again. Oh, so I do have one more thing for you all before I leave you. You all have been so wonderful, as always. Before I leave you with this last little tidbit to tide you over until the next seasonal anime stream. I have one last line for you from this episode that comes from the grandmother. This is in the past. This is a flashback. And it's her talking to the horrible demon when it's still in its mushroom state. And she's telling the demon, if you ever see my grandchild helplessly alone and looking sad, will you please help him? Thank you, small, stupid demon. And so really, this entire show, this entire thing happening, everything from the destruction of personal property, of memories, of collars from this dog who had died, being tossed down a hill when you show even the smallest amount of emotional weakness, just jerking off in the middle of the yard and creating more clones of yourself to terrorize the town. You can all blame Witch Grandma. You can all thank her for the turnip demon, because without her, this entire damn show wouldn't have existed. And I guess, screw you, Witch Grandma. Screw you for all of this. Witch Grandma, indeed. This grandma. The grandma who decided that this turnip demon just really needed to jizz all over the place. And with that, I'll see you folks for our next seasonal anime stream. I look forward to more great, fantastic, and terrifying things coming up in the future. Otsu for now! Trying that one out. I like it quite a bit. It's pretty good. You can thank Gabriel for that one. Holy shit. Alright, Otsu! Bye-bye, everyone. Yes, don't let the turnip demon enter your house. And definitely don't inhale any spores. Also, holy shit, Otsuyumi is amazing. Why are you all so good at this shit? Otsuyumi! I might use that one. Y'all are so smart. Holy shit, I'm so grateful for you folks. You all are more funny and punny than I could ever be. Holy shit, y'all are the goddamn best. Have an awesome rest of your week, folks. I will see you all very, very soon. Otsuyumi!